everyone introduce themselves. We can just start in order. You can go, Bindo. Introduce
Guys,
yourself.
I'm Bindo Gek. Nice to meet you all. I'm a cosplayer and a streamer, and I'm just here to have a good party time with all of you.
Yes! I missed you. It's been a while. We met at TwitchCon, my first year that I went. So
Yeah, dude. I think it was like the first TwitchCon too, and we were both like one of the only people who were cosplaying.
Yeah.
I think you were Tracer and I was Cindy. So we're like, oh my god, another one. Okay, bye. Like
after that, we learned TwitchCon's not worth it to cosplay to.
Oh yeah, no, that was not. Nope, no reason.
Yeah, most of you guys know me already. I'm Amouranth. I'm the host of this podcast today, but these lovely ladies are my special guests. And Meowko, my little favorite. Oh yeah, well, I mean, you could be a lady. It's fine. That's your talent.
Change.
No, Epic Voice Guy's awesome. We'll get to him in a little bit. You want to introduce yourself, Meowko?
Hey, yes, it's me, Meowko, and I'm streaming, just starting ILL and also sometimes gaming, and I'm really...
What's she gonna
Did
say?
she pause? Or is she...
did she freeze?
I don't know if she actually froze,
Dramatic tension.
or if she's messing with us.
Wait, can anybody hear me?
She rolled a 1.
I know.
Oh, it lagged.
You're good.
Start,
You're back. You're back.
Shit, well, babe.
start from just
I hear
started
you.
streaming.
Oh, you hear me? Okay.
Hear you.
Okay. Miyako, you can go again. It lagged on you.
Did I break internet?
There she is.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
do it again.
Did I?
That's the
Oh, no,
best
you're back.
dramatic pause I've ever heard.
Back? Are we back?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Meowko, and I'm a streamer. I stream Justering, IRL, and I'm from Japan. And what else? I love anime, and also I really wanted to be voice actress. I really like. There's really cool guy here, and also.
Me too. You guys give us voice lessons. John and Kim. We want voice acting lessons.
Right now, if you want.
Oh, that's where that was coming from.
Hey, I did Pikachu's voice.
Yeah,
first.
that's what I mean. What was it?
I said I did the voice of a Pikachu too, but he was a detective. And he was
Oh,
in the
that's
movie.
true. He was also Pikachu.
is-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Work on that.
Yeah, I filled in for Ryan Reynolds. You can see my name in the
Oh my
credits.
god.
Aw, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
What
only- the
percentage
one-
is you and what percentage is Ryan?
No, you keep introducing people. Don't make this. About
Sorry,
me.
I was
We'll get to him.
Interesting.
He can steal the
Holy shit.
show in a little bit. Okay, let's go. Letty, you're next.
Me? I'm just a streamer. I play Call of Duty. I just started last year. Yeah, I'm pretty new to the whole Twitch scene, to be honest. So everything that you're talking
Well-
about, I don't really know anything.
That's okay. We're happy you're here, though. And
Thank you.
Scarlett, you go next.
I'm Scarlett. I'm a DJ and a producer, and I've been streaming for about 2 years. And I'm very happy to be here. I thank you for inviting me back.
We have lighting twins today.
Oh, and I'm almost done with your voicemail beat.
Okay, that's fine. Are you gonna be done tonight or no? Like later?
Maybe. I have like a
maybe.
demo, but it's not very clean.
Oh, I see.
No, not that kind.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not
Like
I'm
it's not
mixing it
polished.
still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not
I was
polished.
like, the voicemail wasn't that bad, but okay.
No.
What do we?
That's not what I meant. Sorry.
It's okay. And now we have Foximus Prime. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi
My
guys,
name
it's
is
your girl
Foximus
Foximus Prime, and I play game. I don't really stream games anymore, but I'm huge into fighting games, World of Warcraft, League of Legends. I do ASMR now because I love it. It helps me go to sleep. Love helping people, and I actually do want to get into voice acting, and I think I could do a pretty mean Ash Ketchum to go with that Pikachu we have. Hey guys, it's Ash Ketchum. I'm gonna be the next Pokemon master.
I really
Pikachu
hope
was
you're
my
gonna
very
get
first
Hokage.
Pokemon.
Pika?
Like your name, Foximus Prime.
Thank you.
And now we have John.
Oh, hi. I'm Epic Voice Guy. I used to stream on Twitch a lot more, but I don't do as much. Now that I'm stuck at home, though, maybe I'll get back on it. I do a lot of video game voices. I'm the voice of Honest Trailers. That's what most people know me for. I've been the voice of Optimus Prime and Shockwave and Soundwave and Transformer stuff like Bumblebee and Combiner Wars and a lot of commercials and things. And a lot of video game characters. I was the council guy in XCOM and various voices in Elder Scrolls Online and just tons of stuff here and there. I can't remember them all.
In other words, he's awesome.
Sick.
I prefer
Really
epic,
awesome.
but okay.
Hence the name, Epic Voice Guy. And we're gonna have links for everyone too in the chat, you guys. So if you want to like follow them on social media, the bots got it all, and all the commands for people. And then we have Kinzer. Is your mic on yet? It's muted.
Oh no.
I just didn't want to unmute because I wasn't sure. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, that's okay right now.
Great.
Like, is there anything I could do to like help it?
Sounds good to me.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's not glitching or anything.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Hey guys. I'm Kinzer. Kinsey. And I'm a full-time scientist, part-time, just for fun, just for exercise streamer. And yeah, I haven't been doing it very long, but I've met Kate through conventions and through Twitch, and so I'm really excited to be on the podcast. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
She's also a mod, but go
Yeah,
Kim.
I am a
Oh, such power.
I am an Amouranth mod.
Really?
Simp.
Everyone,
Alright.
be sure but
Behave.
All right, Kim, you're next.
Hi guys, I'm Hricko. I am a voice actress and a narrator. I do art commissions and all sorts of crazy stuff. Love video games. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch. I started back in like 2013, took a long break and trying to get back into it. I don't really have a schedule at the moment. I am originally from the UK and I've been living in the US for about 10 years now. And I'm also Cherisat's roommate. I think a lot of you guys know who she is, and I am her caretaker full time. So, hello, nice to meet everybody.
Hello.
Hello,
I
hello.
have a question. Is Hricko is your real name?
Yes.
Ah, it sounds like a Japanese name. So.
It is, yes.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Are you half? Are
Half,
you
yeah.
mixed? Oh, hi.
You guys are... So you know all the same people then, right?
I did.
It's like, oh, you're from Memphis? Do you know so and so? I'm like, yes, out of the 4 million people that live there, I know Mr. Smith.
That's amazing. Oh, thank you all for being here. I don't know if you guys saw the topics I posted earlier in Discord. It was just like a brief rundown on what can be going on tonight, though. But I think a good way, though, to start off the podcast with everybody, just so we get to know each other, since we have lots of new people here, is how did you come to Twitch? Like, how did you first get started on your content creation journey?
Do we just answer? Do
Yeah,
we
you
go
can.
in
You can
order?
go. Whoever wants.
And everyone.
Whoever's ready could go.
I guess I'll go then.
Okay, go for it.
I started out Twitch actually. I worked at a gaming company and I worked with I was actually like the producer behind it, and everybody kept telling me that I should be in front of it, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then I decided to quit working there because I hated it. And I just one day was playing Worlds was going on, and I was like, oh wait, I need to do my placement matches for League. Might as well stream it. And that's how I started.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. I was just a cosplayer for the longest time, and then I got an email from the Twitch creative department being like, oh, you should try making your costumes over on Twitch. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And that's how I started. And then I played Overwatch 2 because that was really hype. And then now I don't. And they no longer promote creative category either. So now it's IRL. And then they took that away from me. And now it's just chatting. But I play some games too every now and then. They couldn't decide what they wanted to do with Twitch. But here I am, and I've made it work. Even though my category
Amazing.
got demolished eventually. I'm still here,
I feel
though.
like my story with yours is hand in hand. Actually,
I think we were probably around the same time.
yeah, I was one of the
Same
very
era.
first people who were partnered for creative.
Yep.
I think they had 2 people back then.
Yeah.
It was brand new, just little baby. And yeah, when they stopped having a subsection for it, it was we're all just scattered to the wind, figure it out, you know?
Goodbye.
So I still stream on Twitch, but I also do it on Caffeine. Do both.
Dang, look at you.
Yeah.
What do you like better? As far as
for
the interface goes, just the setup in
the
general.
interface, I like Twitch because people who come in, like, they can see the chat, they know what's going on, like, but in caffeine, it kind of like disappears a little quickly. And some people will be like, oh no, I was drinking something, or I went to go pee or something, like, and they come back and like, oh great, now what? So I don't want to ask, you know, so that's the only thing. That's like a main difference that I think, like,
oh, interesting.
People might give it a try better if they had like a chat log that people aside from the streamer could see.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a
dude.
problem. Get on it, Caffeine. Catch up. Twitch is.
I've asked them.
Actually, don't get on it. Twitch likes being better. So, Meowko, do you want to go next?
Yes, my story is very boring, but so I'm gonna make it short. So, I like to playing games, and I was playing games, and my roommate told me like, "Oh, you should go streaming on Twitch," and okay, I will, and I started. That's it. Hi, what's the next?
I mean, my story is pretty similar to her. Like I said, I'm new to this whole Twitch scene, and my brother's like into gaming and all that, and he was the one that came up to me. Like, I just started playing Call of Duty again because I took like a really long break, and I just started playing because I had a PS4. So I was like, all right, let me start playing again. And then my brother came to me. He's like, you have the personality and everything for Twitch streaming, so I think you should try it. And then here I am, a year later.
There you go. Might as well just give it a shot, right?
Exactly.
I'll just leap in to get it over with, which is I used to play APB a lot back in like 2013, and Kim Hricko, by the way, I was friends with a bunch of people, and I thought it was just so appealing and really fun. And back then, I think was around the time that like Summit and another couple big streamers were getting going, and we just decided, yeah, Twitch. I think Summit was on a little bit longer before me, but yeah, then I took a break and started doing other stuff, and then I was like, you know what, I should go back to Twitch, and it's been wonderful. I mean, people are so kind, and it's been great.
Aww, that's nice.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of kind people on Twitch that just get like overshadowed by the amount of toxic people, but I think most people are pretty good on Twitch. Who wants to go next?
John.
I'll go.
John.
Go ahead.
I meant to stream for like years, but never got around to it. But when my brother and I started making we were doing like video game remixes, and I thought, hey, it might actually be cool to reach like the people we want to reach are people like Twitch type people, and they'd be more interested in the music that we make than, you know, pop culture. So I got into it that way. I started doing music on stream, but I also played a lot of video games, and then yeah, it's just kind of like 2 years later, my Twitch audience grew way faster than any other social media that I've ever participated on. So I just kind of stuck to it, and I'm very happy I did.
Awesome. And how's that gone for you? Was it easy to grow through music, or has it been kind of a struggle? Because I know it's not like a big category on Twitch.
At first it was very slow,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I started DJing on stream, that changed everything.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I don't know why, but like once I like got my controller and I learned how to do it on stream, and it was like kind of a journey. And I went from kind of just like this very tiny streamer that, you know, 30 viewers, and out of nowhere it took off completely. That's how I got my partnership and everything.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was just, you know, it's just finding your niche, I think, is
Mm-hmm.
important. But I'm happy I did it, and I got to learn about it, all these genres that I never knew about, and I met people who are genuinely interested in me as a content creator, not just a like or a click on Instagram or Facebook. So it was more real, you know,
Right,
a
yeah.
real audience, not a
Who actually like listens into your music and enjoys it for long periods.
yeah, and gives you
Yeah.
live feedback, because they'll be like, I'm not gonna lie, Scarlett, that song sucks. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Honesty, that's important.
Yeah.
All right, John, you want to go next?
Sure. I started streaming because I'm like, I'm going to play video games anyway. I might as well stream it while I'm playing it. And then I got the bright idea that I should play games that I worked on and stay in character. I thought that would be kind of a meta, kind of funny thing. But then I hit a speed bump when voiceover career just kind of overshadowed everything else. I barely have had time for any kind of social media or Twitch type stuff. And then I finally had time to come back to it, thanks to all this stuff. and I don't have enough space on my hard drive for Elder Scrolls Online because it has 730
Oh yeah.
gigabytes of space, and I'm like, dang, I need a an extra terabyte drive just to play my own.
Yeah, I'm feeling you right now. That's the problem I'm having at the moment. Is no more
I
space for
literally
anything.
just bought another drive. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
it's
order
brand
one
new on
because
the
I
floor.
can't.
I like need
bought the
to
game
right
before
now.
I tried to download it like a moron, and then I tried to install it, and it's like, you need to free up space, and I'm like, even if I deleted everything, I still wouldn't have enough room for one game.
Yeah, Deoxy's right. I don't even have space for small, simple PNG files. I'm like a download per delete person right now.
I'm actually in the same boat because I have so many games on my hard drive. And I'm like, I'm going to play this eventually. Never happens.
Oh, I always delete them when I'm not playing them. I clear up
I should do that. I should.
Yeah.
Because I like audio and video is big. It takes a lot of space on it.
Oh yeah.
Kinzer, did you want to talk about your past and your beginnings at all?
I think she's muted.
Is this mic better?
Yeah.
No, better.
Yes.
Yeah, you sound
Sorry.
great.
Yeah. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I actually think I got into Twitch because of Kate. Because I found her through cosplay. She was cosplaying Link at the time, and then I was like looking for inspiration and people that could help me with my cosplay, and so I found her, and then I was like, oh, this is really similar to Stickam, because I used to live stream almost every single day when I was like in college and I didn't have a job on Stickam, and then that website got deleted because there's a lot of perverts on there. I think that's why. And then
that's why Twitch reminded you of it right there. You're like,
and you realize you're back home.
It's like I feel so comfortable here.
Stickam actually had a layout where you could do something like this integrated into the website already. So but it was kind of unsecure because anyone could just kind of like hop on if you didn't have certain settings, and they'd be hopping on, jacking off, and I'd be like, what the fuck? and then so yeah, so
oh my
then
God.
you'd have to like ban them or block them or whatever. But I made a lot of really cool girlfriends on that website, and that's like what kept me interested in streaming, is making cool friends. Then because like I've always had a struggle with making friends, so that, and then what keeps me going on Twitch right now is motivation for exercise, and Kate's also really good at motivating people for that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, fitness.
Thank you.
Do it.
Yes.
You gotta work on your
Like-
IRL character.
I'm not the kid on The Simpsons that likes gerbils. Anybody want to play with me?
That's awesome.
Great.
So those perverts though, Kinzer. Is that how your foot fetish got started?
I don't have a foot fetish. Don't bully me. I really don't have a foot fetish.
Okay.
She's like, I didn't come here to be added.
It's a running joke in our stream because when I was doing a dancing stream, she was like, "You need to make the camera wider. I can't see your footwork." And I'm like, "Oh, do you want my feet, Kinzer?" She's like, "I can't see your feet."
I wanted your whole body, baby.
This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had mud. And this little piggy said, wee, wee, wee.
I don't know if I could afford you, but I want to hire you to give me a little stab for my like DJ Scarlet 64.
Yeah. I feel like after this podcast, everyone's gonna be hiring you.
Yes.
To do
They should.
I need you to narrate my feet.
Say some nice
I'll be
things about
Googling
me
your
so I
name
can
and
put
foot
it on a...
It's so cool that you got to voice over for Ryan Reynolds.
I know.
Yeah, three movies now. 3, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 3. Currently working on Prudes 2.
Can they just
That's
not
really cool,
afford
dude.
him for all the lines?
Well, I assume he's busy being rich and famous and better looking than me. So
I imagine some days they're like, where is he? We can't find him. He's not answering his phone.
well, it's not
All
just
right,
me.
what else can we do?
Honestly,
we
like
call?
the engineer, the editor, holy crap, he is a freaking magician because he can slide just the perfect take that I do in the middle of what Ryan Reynolds is saying, and nobody even notices. It's, I'm like a voice ninja, just like in and out. Nobody even knows I was there. I did get it. I did get an actual finished voice in the movie, besides his. Right before the final battle between Mewtwo and Detective Pikachu, you hear the annual Rhyme City Pokemon Parade. That was me as the reporter.
Nice.
No way.
So unlike
That's
all
so
the other
cool.
people,
Oh my
who
God,
voice
that's awesome.
Pokemon, I actually got
I
to say
love
more than
that
just the
movie.
name. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
Better
I
than
love
Sonic.
way
it was
better
a
than I
lot
thought it
better than I
was.
thought it would be, to be
Mhm,
honest with
same.
you. I went in with no expectations and it blew my mind away. And the final reveal at the end, I was like, no way!
Didn't see that coming. What a twist.
I did it. I should have seen it. People were saying it was obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me because I was like, no, they wouldn't do that.
Well, you know why
Yeah,
there
I
was a
was in the
twist?
same
Because
boat.
his favorite Pokemon was Shalamon. M. Night Shyamalan. Shalamon, I choose you. Twist ending.
Did you do Deadpool stuff? Because that's.
I did some Deadpool 2 stuff, but not for the film. And then I did, the first one I did was Detective Pikachu. And I think just word got around. It's underground.
Oh, I see.
And then Crudes 2 after that. So
Yeah.
I'm trying. I talked him into getting us an autographed bottle of Aviation Gin for my wife for Valentine's Day. So one of these days, maybe he might just straight up be like, let's collab on something. You just stand there and narrate me, or I don't know what it will do, but I would be.
Oh yeah,
I'll be
where he
so
like just mouths out but doesn't say anything, and you just do all the talking.
He thinks he can do my epic movie voice, but it sounds more like this. I'm like,
It is amazing what we can do now with social media. We can just like connect and
I
find
know.
jobs and meet people in the industry. It's really awesome.
and Mark
I love
Hamill's
that.
just like, hey, what's up? And Dwayne Johnson's just like, hey, happy birthday. You're like, what is happening right now? What is the world?
Mark Hamill.
Hmm.
I would be very starstruck.
Oh yeah.
He's a very interactive online. Surprisingly, he's just normal dude. I met him in person
he
only
seems
the
down to
once.
earth, doesn't he?
You met him in
He's very
person?
Only the once. I just happened to be walking by a random table at Comic-Con, and he was literally just sitting down before the line started.
Mm.
And I was like, and I did this stupid reference to Freakazoid, which is a show that he worked on as himself. He played his own self at a convention in a cartoon episode. And I went, Mr. Hamill. And he looked and smiled. I was like, oh, he understood that reference. I was like, hey, I just want to say thank you for inspiring guys like me to eventually get into this career. I was like, I'm not jealous of you having to go all day, every day. His eyes got big. He's like, wow, that was really good. I was like, yeah, but I can't do it for longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, put strain on your voice.
Like, he has like veins popping out of his head. He gets so great into character. He's insanely talented. Way outside of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's crazy though. Did you like the new Star Wars?
You know, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh.
Just don't
Was
think
it,
too
though?
hard as a
No
fan.
spoiler, no spoiler.
Was it though?
Visually fun to watch and fun to
I
listen
was
to.
actually really bored the last one because I was like, I don't know what they're trying. What's happening? This is insane.
It was so much. It was like watching Aquaman with the eye candy. They were just like, put it all in there.
I rant about Star Wars all the time on my channel because I'm an old school Star Wars fan, and the new stuff.
But I know they're gonna. I knew they weren't gonna do what I wanted them to do with it, so I was like, I might as well at least try to have fun.
You have to go into it just being like, oh, this is fan fiction. You know, like you
It
can't
is fan fiction.
Kind of.
Worse than fan
Because they got scared of all those trolls on the internet, like, we're gonna make a petition to be, and then they just gave them exactly what they wanted, and then everybody hated it.
It was like, yeah,
Everyone's miserable.
True.
So it's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Mandalorian Baby Yoda out of this, so
that was good. You know, Mandalorian.
Baby
I
Yoda.
didn't think it was gonna be good, but I thought it was. It was simple. It wasn't the deepest thing I've ever seen, but it was very enjoyable, and it captured that old Western Star Wars soul. Kind of reminded me of like the
that's
old
what it
school
was.
RPGs.
It was a space western, basically, like quest.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I really like
Oh,
The
yeah.
Mandalorian.
and like
The second season, they just cast. What's her name? She's the apprentice of Anakin from Clone Wars.
Ahsoka.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
Ooh.
gonna be in Mandalorian too.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
And they
That
also
should be
just
good.
announced. Well, I don't know if this is a full announcement or not, but they're saying that the star of the first Terminator film is going to come back and possibly as a character from the old Star Wars, and he's kind of a classic '80s actor, which is really cool. I can't.
Wait,
remember his name.
Kyle Reese?
Yes, Kyle Reese. Yes. that is correct.
Ooh, how old is he now?
He's in his 50s
Okay,
or 60s.
that'll
maybe.
be
I don't
interesting.
know. He was in his 20s when Terminator came out.
Yeah, he was a baby. Like he looked so young.
course, they can always just deep fake it now.
Oh,
Oh,
deep
yeah.
fakes. That has to be one of the worst parts of social media.
It really is.
Oh yeah.
My
That
face, I can
one.
put it on anybody's body now. Yeah. It's not even me. It's not even real.
See, for you, I feel like they would
My
use it
balls.
for fun reasons, but for girls, I feel like it's a whole nother issue.
Oh yeah.
That's horrifying, isn't it?
Hmm
When they
Celebrity
Photoshop you on
porn
like
has taken
different
a hold,
people,
you know?
yeah.
What do you guys
just
think
don't-
are some of the worst parts besides that of social media?
Oh, just the false information and people trying to get views and likes off just any crap that they can come up with.
Hmm
Yeah.
It's like we don't really
Yeah.
care what this does to people or if this worries people or scares people or freaks people out. As long as we get the likes and the views, it's what we want.
I also think people are being kind of trained to be a little too open with some of their personal stuff to get kind of a reaction, but they forget this is like a public forum on the internet. Like some of the things that people put on Twitter are so personal. And,
they're like, "I have a
and it's
foot
like, you
fetish."
need a therapist. You shouldn't be saying this on Twitter because anybody can see this and react. And
Mhm.
I just think it's kind of like,
Yeah,
weird.
it's kind of like using it like as a diary to rant in when it's not a diary.
Exactly. Like when I see those accounts that are like have this dark shit that or their thoughts that are they're not trying to like make a joke or it's just like this weird like I don't why are you
That
saying
exactly.
this?
That's
Take me
more
on
of an issue of like what's also a problem with being like an influencer or like streamer is the people will start using you as a diary as well. Like
Oh
in
my
your
gosh, that's-
messages.
Oh, good. Yes.
like I understand you want someone to talk to, but I'm not qualified to give you
Oh yeah.
advice.
I'm thinking about doing something terrible. What can you? I'm like, oh, dude.
It's like here's a
I'm not a
hotline. I don't know what to
psychiatrist.
say.
Like
That's-
that is
that's
what
why
a
I-
live journal was for. Like back in the day, livejournal.com, go rant on that and like keep your private information private. But no.
And then they're just like, I'm so lonely. I wish I had someone to cuddle. And then random guy,
Oh
cuddle
my
you. Get
God.
away, you weirdo. And it's like, but you said this on the
Pictures and
internet.
videos.
And
Yeah.
very sexy pictures of you are on this account. So what did you expect?
They were expecting cats to DM them like, "Hey, you want to cuddle?"
I know. They were expecting Ryan Reynolds to DM them.
Guys, I brought my unicorn.
Unicorn.
Ooh,
We do really bad things.
does anybody have
Hashtag user foot fetish,
good
guys.
anyone have any juicy like worst maybe like stalker or fan stories, like fan
I don't know
reactions
if
at their
mine's-
DMs?
I don't know what
I'm
this.
not famous enough to
what is
have
this
any of
podcast
those
rated?
yet.
PG-13.
Well,
PG-13. What?
Too bad. I had a guy that got mad because I didn't have time to record something for him for free because he heard somebody else that had my voice on it where that guy had paid me, and he got mad and basically threatened me and my family and told me to die of throat cancer.
Oh, for a
love
voice?
choosing-
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you get
Because you
treated
wouldn't
so
give them
bad.
a free sample.
because I didn't record something for free because I honestly was just too busy to do it. He's like,
How,
"Did you record
how well did you know this
Like-
person?
paid that?" Oh, he's gotten worse since then. He's openly threatens people online. He tries to hide behind a cover of saying, "Oh, I'm autistic," and somebody claiming to be his mother's like, "Can you just please like he doesn't this internet's all he has." I'm like, you have no
It's
supervision.
like I feel like that's like
does whatever he wants.
victimizing himself and using it as a weapon. And at that
Yes.
point, I feel like if you're that aware of it, how bad? I don't know. I don't know enough about
It's
it,
a
but it's
federal
like
crime to
if you're aware
cyberbully
of it, why are you still
people.
doing
Yeah,
it? You know?
Yeah, death threats are serious.
And I'm like, dude,
it's
your kid's gonna go
ridiculous.
to juvie or worse if you don't get him offline and get some
Oh, it was a
control on him."
kid?
Yeah,
He
No.
was a teenager.
teenagers.
I thought this was
Oh.
like a grown ass man. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know at first. I mean, you never really know at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always part of the problem. You never know if someone's like in their 50s bullying you or literally a 14-year-old boy with a phone, you know?
just
Like,
depends on
I
how
feel
you read
better
the
if it was a
comment.
14-year-old than a 50-year-old because at least I'm like, he's a 14-year-old.
yeah,
Right.
like he'll
When it's a
hopefully do
50-year-old,
better.
I'm like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
this guy
Mm.
can
It
all
legally rent a
depends
car
on-
and buy a weapon and drive to my house.
Yeah.
It all depends on the voice that you hear in your head when you read the comments that they say. Because there's like, I think you're pretty. You can hear it as a little kid going,
They all sound like
I
this.
think you're
also-
so pretty.
yeah. Or it could be an old person going, I think you're really pretty.
Oh
I think you're really
oh my god. Oh.
You're the type of lady I want to take out for dinner.
How much do I have to spend to go out with you?
Excuse me, can I take you out to dinner? It's so horrible. It's like there's so many choosing beggars on the freelance market.
Toes, Kenzie.
I think the worst stalker that I ever had was back when I was moving. I was dumb and I was really young, and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually gonna put where I'm moving. Like really excited. I'm moving to Michigan, and I'm going to this certain city, and it was really dumb. And I had a little video. It was on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, bye guys. Long story short, this guy ends up going all the way to Michigan from another state, and he camps out in my parking lot, and you wouldn't believe that he actually came out like 3 or 4 times. And like, long story short, crazy person. And I have heard from him very recently, as of I think 2 weeks ago. He actually found my number. Don't know how he found it, but like in those situations, I feel like if I'm mean, or if I say like, go, sod off, you could really upset someone. So to be like, kind and be really cautious and careful. But yeah, it's very, very scary.
Yeah, you don't want to like accidentally trigger them.
Yeah. And some people are like my son. They're autistic and they're harmless, but you can't tell at first glance, and you just always have to be like super. A friend of mine, she's an actress. She's one of her biggest things is Knights of the Old Republic, and she used to be on TV, on camera stuff. Her name's Holly Fields, and he just came out. She got up and got dressed, and she was walking towards her kitchen. They have a lot of glass in the back of their house, and she noticed out of the corner of her eye a man standing in her backyard, hiding behind a tree. And they have really tall, like concrete walls around their place. And she just acted like everything was cool. She went straight to the alarms, reset the alarm, called the police. But I mean, dude apparently found out where she lived, and
that was really smart.
Good grief, that's terrifying. This is why when I go to Disneyland or go to I never post pictures while I'm there.
No, never.
Having fun at so and so, and then 2 seconds later, there's people going.
Yeah, actually, like when I was
oh, sorry. I was at a meetup with a big streamer, and he was live streaming it. We went to like a Dave and Buster's or something, and someone showed up because he saw where we were, and he said hi, and he ended up being fine, but it kind of freaked me out. Like, whoa.
And it wasn't like at an event.
Yeah.
It wasn't like at a con.
Yeah.
It was just like,
that happens.
No, it was Dave and Buster's, and he showed up, and he was like, "Hey, man," and it was me, a couple girls, and then the streamer, and I was like, "This guy, like, literally, what if one of me or the other girls had like a psycho stalker who like fantasized about like stabbing us, came to this freaking thing to show up?" Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I have a few
I hear about a lot of
stalkers that do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you got more than a few.
Oh yeah, like one of them actually like is in Houston, so it's like everywhere I go, he'll like message me on any platform he can where he's not banned, and be like, "You're at this place right now. Can I come hang out?
Yeah.
Can I come hang out?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, like go away."
Yeah.
I remember, Kate, I messaged you one day when you were streaming because you're like, "I'm gonna go to this event," and like you were streaming while you were in the car, and it was like the guy's voice, like the computer GPS was like saying all the directions, and I was like, I messaged you on Facebook being like, "You might want to mute for a while. I don't know if like, you know that they're giving like step-by-step instructions."
If it's like an event,
"No, it's okay."
If it's an event, I typically don't
nervous
care.
when you stream live at places, because I'm like, that they're gonna know where she is now.
Yeah.
What's stopping them if they just happen to be like, "Oh, she's close to me"?
Yeah, they get a little crazy sometimes. So far, the ones in person have been
talking
harmless.
about doing meetups now, and they're announcing them. They're like, "Oh, all you TikTok guys want to come out and meet and hang out." And I'm like, "Dude, maybe you don't know the same people I know, or maybe you've never been famous a little bit before." But that I backed out of a couple because I was like, I don't feel comfortable because there's no telling who might be there.
You never know who's lurking.
Crazy idiot. Do you know how many crazy people are on TikTok too?
Yes.
Making maps, and they got diagrams with yarn attached.
Like
to
it could be someone who has never said
like
a word
Always
in your
Sunny.
chat. Who's just
You
been
don't feel
like,
safe though? You don't feel safe being around like a lot of people, even in public?
I feel pretty
I
safe.
go hang out with the waitress.
What if they What if they make note of what car you drive and then follow
that's
you
true
home?
too. That's true. I never thought about
Like
that.
people ask me, I have a residency, and I don't tell. They always ask me, "What club do you spin at? What club?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you."
Yeah, heck no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You didn't know.
Stranger danger.
Yeah. No, I want to come
Yeah.
watch. I'm like, it's not that kind of gig.
Yeah, you
I
definitely
have-
have to take precaution. I always Uber. I don't
have
drive.
kids. I have an autistic kid that will just believe whatever people can, like, say to him, and it's just really. It was scary before we were social distancing.
How's
Yeah,
everyone
it's
doing
it's
the
scary.
social
I'm seeing like the bubble flash around to different people, and I'm like, wait, who's trying to talk right now?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Mine doesn't work.
I think Miyako told
we're
me she
talking
had
about
some
feet
stories.
Yep.
So let's let Miyako go. I want to hear her stories over in Japan or elsewhere.
Yeah.
She travels.
I have a lot of stalker story, but the one is like when I was at TwitchCon for the first time, and I just got off the TwitchCon and I was streaming, and then some dude came up to me and just like he said, "Oh, can I follow you to the hotel?" And I was like,
Ooh.
"No." Yeah. I was like, no, you can't. But I was alone, and I was so scared to go back to hotel because he might follow me. And I'm like, oh my god! But I got Uber, and I went back to the hotel after TwitchCon. But and I was really scared. But the next morning, he was in front of my door in the hotel.
What the
So
fuck?
he was,
Wait, your actual room door?
yeah, in a hotel.
Oh my
So-
god.
Yeah. So the
He
before
followed anyway.
that day, like he was talking to me, I think, and then when I wake up, he was just in front of the door in the hotel. I
What
was
the
like,
fuck?
oh my god, he was
like
following
7
me.
days.
Don't you know how scary? Like, I get if a guy wants to shoot his shot with his like ultimate crush, but could he like not be scary about it?
Like at the
Right.
Don't
hotel.
they realize how weird it is
They're
to
just
say,
standing
"Can
there
I
like-
follow you to your hotel?" Like,
Yeah, like a complete stranger.
yeah, come on
too.
over,
Not even
follow
like
me.
a friend.
They're just
not
standing
somebody you've
somewhere
talked to
just-
before.
Like one guy, I had one person actually tell me, they said, what, I have a package for you, and the package was himself on the back
Oh.
porch of my apartment, and then
Oh.
another person left a backpack on my porch full of a bunch
Oh.
of stuff that I didn't ask for, so that was really scary. And then the first guy who had come out multiple times, he actually messaged me. He's like, I know the entire layout of the building you're in, and I know how to set a chemical fire, and if you don't talk to me, I'm going to kidnap your dog. And I think
What the
Charizard
fuck?
actually messaged it before. Yeah, literally
Please
said
tell me
he
you
was
called
gonna.
the authorities.
I
you
did,
need to
and then
find
he,
a friend who
I-
can like.
it gets
dox
worse.
him.
It gets worse. It gets worse. He actually, I had to go at the time. I had something called an acoustic neuroma, which is like this really nasty tumor. It's not like fatal or anything like that, but I had to have surgery to get it removed. And so I wasn't around at the time, and he actually came out during that time, and my roommate was home, and he tried to break in. And she called the police, and he actually told the police that I was his girlfriend, and that I had given him a key, and that he lost it, and that she was crazy, not supposed to be there. And long story short, they like trespassed him from the building, and so he sat outside the building in the parking lot for the better part of a week, like peeing in bottles and all sorts of stuff. And he would send text messages and go, "Panera Bread is feeding me, and I'm starving." Or
What
it
the
was
fuck?
like, it was
This
just
man is mentally ill.
How
Sounds like
long
a
ago
Leonardo
was
DiCaprio
this?
movie.
This was in, I want to say like 2015, 2016, really, so a while ago. But I mean, I still hear from the guy, so
How
like
is
quite
he in
often.
jail?
I don't know. The police literally, I think they don't actually do anything unless that you have a
They do
threat.
something.
They wait
Yeah,
till it's
evidence.
too late and something bad happens before. they
Right,
do.
which is why like just know how to kick someone's ass and get a big dog. Like that is number one. Get a big dog, because if it wasn't for my dog, he would have got in. And scary.
Wow, dude.
I'm in the market
Yes.
for Doberman.
Big
Right.
dogs, everyone. Get big dogs. Big dogs for everybody.
Yeah, big
What
dogs.
about big
Paintball
cats?
guns
What
are
if I
very
just have a
painful.
fat cat?
A panther. Get a
Tiger?
panther.
Tiger.
Tiger is
I'm the
fine.
tiger king.
Whatever.
Oh my
tiger.
My mind is
could be
so
a
horrible.
tiger.
I'm like, just put a collar on me. I'll be your dog. I'm just kidding.
Have you guys ever had the guys come into your chat and ask you if they could be your online dog? Have you had that?
Oh my
before?
gosh. Yes.
They could
Yes.
be your online dog. Your
They don't
pet,
even
and
say
you have to
online for
walk
me.
them.
They say I want to be your puppy. Woof woof. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong
No,
with
they
you?
like say it's like they
Don't out
literally
me like this.
explain this like scenario where I treat them like a dog, not like you're a dog, but like a puppy, and I have
know
to water
somebody
them and,
like that.
and scratch their. I was like, no, I don't. I'm not in the market for a
Like,
digital
take 'em
dog
as-
right now.
Did he offer to
Get a
pay you?
Tamagotchi instead.
Yeah.
Did he offer to pay
Do you
you?
remember those? Wait, a gigapet? Do you remember? Was it
I
No.
do. Oh my god! And like,
Remember those?
Tamagotchi.
Forgot about that.
I accidentally killed mine because I didn't know how to change it from like a
Accidentally?
24-hour to a 12-hour like clock or something. So it was always asleep when I was awake and awake when I was asleep.
I think I smell a
It
murder.
died. That was my first pet and it died.
We all
Oh,
have one thing in common. I only get guy stalkers too. So.
oh really?
Not a
That's-
girl
I saw the
stalker.
cute girl stalkers.
New girls are standing outside my hotel room going.
So what do the guys do? What do the other guy stalkers do?
It's super cringy. They're just, and then usually they're not saying it. It's one of those things where they don't say anything wrong, but the way they say it is like, they're like, hey, I heard you work on video games.
These
So,
poor
I
kids are just so
heard you
socially
worked on
awful.
I love Transformers. I'm like, oh my god. You just learn to talk a different way, man.
Oh
Hey,
my
look,
God.
we all can't be as talented as you with all your voices, okay?
Man, I keep expecting to see them like smelling things. It's like, oh man, you smell it.
Yeah. That's...
So Miyako, what did you ever do? He was outside your door, and then what happened? What happens after that?
I was like opened the door and the dude was there and they're like, hey, I brought you t-shirts, and then he brought me like some Twitch t-shirts and they're like, no, oh my god. And then I called my friend, streamer friend, to pick me up, and then he didn't leave me. Like he was like, oh, can I go TwitchCon with you? And they're like, oh no, I have a plan. And I tried to like escape from that moment, but he was always following me. So I asked the Twitch frontman, no frontman, not Twitch frontman, hotel frontman, reception. I asked the reception people to like security, kinda. How can I say that? The people,
Yeah, security.
man?
Consigliere.
Say
Concierge?
Concierge.
I don't know how to say it either.
Concierge.
Exactly. Perfect.
Concierge. Yeah,
Nailed it.
I asked the security guy to look at him, and he was not really following me. He was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I will see you at TwitchCon. And then so it was okay, but he was just like looking at me in the TwitchCon as well, like taking photo of me and stuff. So it was
Ooh,
really
scumbag.
not comfortable at TwitchCon, but yeah, it was
That's
Ugh.
intense, man. Wow.
yeah, it was wow.
Gross.
But, there
At
was
least he was just trying to give you like a shirt and not like a body
Go
part
in
or
the-
something. You know?
Or even go in the room.
He was like, I want you to have this shirt, and he takes it off and is like, here I am.
He
He
He used it to.
just like takes his shirt off and is like, here, you can have it. And me.
Hey,
Got to the
It's a
shirt.
boombox playing music, like.
Oh,
so you
God.
like Twitch, huh?
Hey, lady. Like
Instead of following your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
My favorite is when someone realizes they have the same taste in music as you, so they think you're soulmates.
Oh my god.
This
Girl.
band,
Anything-
oh my
anything in
god,
common.
and then they're in your
Anything-
DMs.
you like to breathe too? Me too.
Wow, oxygen, so fresh.
So you like feet, huh?
Stop.
Netflix exclusively on his Patreon. Subscribe now. He wears stockings, guys.
Quarantine
While you
was
can.
really
Limited
been hard
slots
on him.
available.
I'm changing the stream title. I realized it still said starting soon.
I thought you were changing it to feet pics.
I got you, girl.
I did too.
We can start anytime you feel like.
Oh no, we
Wait,
already
oh,
Never
started.
mind.
I just
all
didn't
hanging
change
out,
the
getting to
name.
know each other. We
Isn't
haven't
that what a
started.
podcast is?
Yeah.
It's a little party. It's like we're having like a house party.
So
Where does the name come from? What does the pod have to do with the casting?
That's a good question. I want to.
Yeah,
uh,
This is podcasting.
Why
I
is
don't
Only
know.
thing
Into
I
the
think of
pod
is-
racing.
podcasting?
Wait,
Now
it's
this
called
is podcasting.
I think of three things when I think of pods. I think of peas. I think of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
Oh, chat's saying
I
iPod.
think of
Oh,
It came from
AirPods.
iPod.
and broadcast is where it came from.
So it's for back when iPads were or iPads were.
iPods were the
yeah.
only way at the time.
I remember the first time I saw an iPhone, it was like showing that it was like an iPod and it had all the little iPod functionality, and then it went ring ring, and then they answered hello, and I was like, it's a phone.
For the longest time, I thought an iPod and an iPad were the same thing because I just thought people were just doing like, oh, I have an iPod. Oh, you can afford an iPod.
The little thing that you stick your headphones in.
Yeah, I know, but I thought
skinny.
people were just saying it fancier. They were saying iPad, but saying
yeah,
iPod.
they just momentarily
have
had
an
a British accent.
iPod.
It's like, oh well, I have hit clips, so I can give you 15 seconds of music.
I was like, no, I have a Creative Labs MP3 player.
Dang. Man, that feels like so long ago. It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long as far as the years ago, but it feels like a long time ago. Like when did the iPhone? When did the first
feels
iPhone
a long
come?
time ago. We've been stuck inside for so long.
Like,
what year did the iPhone come out?
It's true. Where did iPhone come out?
I can't remember when I got my first.
We're on 11 now.
I've never had an iPhone.
I don't know what you. And it's so fragile. Like it's like
2007. So it doesn't sound like a long time ago to me.
It
But
didn't used to be fragile.
That's 13 years ago.
I know, but it's
iPhone 5
because
was
it's
a
a
tank. You could drop that thing on solid concrete and it'd be fine.
I know my flip phone lasted forever. These, like, I get the glass over it, and it's like disgusting and chipped and all cracked.
Coronavirus came from.
I've been sick with a
little
cold
hit
for like
around the
3
glass.
weeks, and I'm like, I swear it's not the corona.
Oh
It's the cold. I
Well,
went to the grocery store for the first time in 3 weeks today. It was weird. There was
Is
not
it
a lot
scary?
of people there.
Oh, yeah?
Everyone was so polite. Everyone was keeping their distance from each other and smiling and nodding and just kind of
I
like
wanna go to
inching
your
around
store.
each other. There was
Our
tons
store
of
had
food.
police. Our store had police parked out front in a long line outside the building, and they're only letting one person in at a time. Apparently, there've been fights breaking out over products.
Oh,
Scarlett's
the
in
grocery store was
Arizona.
full. Yeah, I'm in Arizona. I don't know if it's there. It is starting to increase in numbers because one guy at the airport apparently had it and didn't and kept going to work. So we're probably going to see an increase in
Great.
numbers. But
Just
the
like that
grocery
one guy that
store
gets
was-
bit by the zombie, and he doesn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, or he got bit by the vampire. He's like, I'm fine. Keep going. No, I don't have a. I'll just hide this bite until later
I don't
when I
have
try
a
to kill you all.
problem.
Exactly.
We had
What
to
pops
cancel
up?
my grandma's birthday dinner over this. We're like, no, we're not going to come see you, Gram. We want you to stay with us another year.
So what is it like where you are, Fox?
I'm in Texas. I live in the same city as you.
Oh, okay.
So you know what it's like.
I don't leave my house. Do you leave your house?
Get out the window.
I don't leave my house on the normal, so this is like just another Friday for me.
Get out the window. You actually live across the street from each other. Like,
Hey.
We're neighbors. Like, hello.
I just
Talking to
never
like a
leave
tin
my
can.
cave.
Want to come over? Never mind. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious, Amouranth, how recognized are you just in the general, like in that non-Twitch outside world? Do people like point you out all the time? Like, I know you, or are you pretty anonymous?
I'm
in your
pretty
day-to-day life?
anonymous. I feel like there's maybe only been like 2 people who know who I am, and that's because they worked at Hot Topics, so it's already that group of people. Like both of them, 2 different Hot Topics.
Classic.
So
They
you
might
know.
find you at GameStop too. I would assume.
Do you like that? I
not
feel like
really yet.
it's kind of nice being a celebrity in a way, but also getting the benefits of anonymousness because you're
Yeah.
only a celebrity in a very specific like realm.
Yeah, I've felt the same way, but you know, it's also a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like, yes, I'm more anonymous, but I still have stalkers, and I don't have the means that real celebrities do to take action for a security team and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes and no.
Have any of you ever been spotted outside just shopping or wherever and be like, I know you?
I got spotted in
yeah.
Japan at the airport.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Guy
Random
next
people?
to me. Like,
Oh,
we
wow.
had to put our stuff in the bins and we had to wait for a minute because it was like a little backed up. And I'm just standing there. I think I'm like doing a little dance of like messing with my stuff, little like, oh, that guy. I'm like, whoa. And this guy next to me keeps kind of looking at me and I'm like, oh God, wait, am I embarrassing? Like, what's going on?
Oh my god.
Excuse me.
Like 3
Are-
seconds later, he's like,
Are
you
you
cosplay,
Belinda?
don't you? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm in Japan right now. Like,
Were you
That's
flattered
the
or were you
cosplay
freaked out?
capital.
oh, I was like, oh my God, thank you. I was like, wow, weebs in Japan, shocking. Who could ever have thought, you know? Like, so no, it was really nice. I was just shocked. Also in Italy, that was weird too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I don't know what I would do.
I just say, oh,
I'd
thanks.
just be like
bye."
standing there like, huh? What?
I thought I had
Sweet.
it.
They're always sweet.
I was wrong.
I know. Imagine being like a voice actor, so your face isn't quite as like.
That's what I thought. I thought being a voice actor, I didn't have anything to worry about. And yet, well, I guess it's just because I live in LA and there's a lot more people that watch the kind of content that I work on, or they play the game, or they whatever. But
I
yeah,
imagine aspiring voice actors all know who you are and are your.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things out here where there's a big group of voice actors getting together. Well, there was the big groups of voice actors getting together for like comedy shows that were specifically voice actor oriented or stuff like that. But for me, it's more surprising Barnes and Noble and just out at Target, Walmart, whatever. And people are like, hey, there's three types. There's usually the ones that are like way too shy or just don't feel like bothering me because they see that I'm with my family, which I also appreciate. And I'll just get a tweet from like, oh, saw Epic Voice Guy at such and such. Really cool to see. I didn't want to bother you. And then I have other group that's just like, hey, man, just want to say I really like your work. You're a big fan. And then there's those ones that even if I'm with, 4 kids and it's got a screaming autistic kid on the floor, they're like, hey, can I get a picture? You're the Epic Voice Guy, right? For the gram. And I'm like, dude, I've got like kids. Like, this is clearly not a convention situation. So, yeah.
Some people have no social awareness of when it's appropriate to talk to people and when it's not appropriate to talk to people.
I try to be understanding. I mean, when you have an autistic kid, you tend to be a little more sensitive and a little more patient with people who just may not know better, or they may be like me, they just have no social skills whatsoever. Just like, no words.
I get shy in the presence of known people because I know, like, I don't want to bother them, but I'm like, oh, I'd love to say hello and tell them that I admire them, but at the same time, I don't want to embarrass myself and bother them.
I don't mind when I'm alone. That doesn't bother me at all because it's just like I'm out. I'm just happy somebody even knows what I do and they like my work. But when I've got my family, my wife and kids, or I'm on a date or whatever, like,
you
want a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I think what Kristen Chenoweth started doing, the one who plays like Anna, oh no, that's a different one. But anyways, one of the Kristens was like, no, right now I'm a mom. Chenoweth I think is Glinda. And who's the one that, Kirsten Bell, that's it, Kristen Bell. She's the one who plays Anna. She's like, no, right now I'm a mom. When people try to take pictures with her. So you could try something like that. Like, no, fuck off, please. In that tone, but in nice words.
She walked right in front of me at Paramount Studios. I was like,
I have a dad.
She was like 10 feet away.
Oh.
I love
I asked her if she wanted to build a snowman, but she wasn't in a good place.
Oh, I love both of them. Chenoweth and Belle. They're both amazing. I want to meet them. You get to meet cool people.
I didn't meet her. I just saw her. She walked.
You get to be in the presence of amazing people.
Do silver screen celebrities recognize who you are, John, or is it more of like a very niche group?
I think movie people, like, they recognize me online. In person, not as much. Like, I get random, like, oh man, I'm a big fan of your work, and I'm like, holy crap. Oh. For me, I've never been as big a fan of like big movie actors as I was of voice actors because I was always such a cartoon fan growing up. So when like when the voice of Brain from Pinky and the Brain messages me and was like, oh hey, I know who you are, I'm a big fan of your work, and you're like, excuse me, I'm pretty sure you're confusing me with someone else.
Take on a different voice, like shh. Stop.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way. Never ever do their characters back to them.
Why? What happens? Like, they get mad, or
you don't want them thinking that
you're after their job.
From what Maurice told me, his name is Maurice LaMarche, by the way. He and I had this conversation. I was like, does your generation, like the guys who are the at the very top of their game, doing all the voiceover stuff for cartoons for the last 10, 20, 30 years, do you guys get offended when guys lower on the pole that like me or these online people, social media people are doing impressions of your characters? And he's like, does it make us mad? No, but the studios will use that as ammo against them and say, well, if you're not willing to do it this, we'll just get that guy to do it for nothing.
Oh.
I don't want to be the guy that costs like one of my heroes their jobs. I mean, that's just
kind of slimy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a few times where I've gotten auditions for SpongeBob, and I know Tom, and I'm like, Tom, they're asking for auditions for your character. He's like, dude, I appreciate you looking out for me. So we just kind of watch each other.
Well, that's good that you're like caring about them. I feel like that could be a real issue. It's like discount voices.
Well, when you want to work with somebody, the last thing you want to do is be like, hey, stole your job.
Sorry, Tom. I'm the new SpongeBob now.
Yeah, that's kind of, I could see that. Where does everyone see themselves in 5 years? Would you like, what do you want to do?
Years.
Do you still want to be doing content?
I see myself in 5 minutes.
Right here in 5 minutes.
Hopefully not still quarantined.
Hopefully not still quarantined. Yeah.
Alive.
Yeah, hopefully alive.
We're all gonna come out of our houses in 3 months with like messed up hair. And be like, and they're like,
nothing has changed. I don't leave my house anyway unless I have a gig. Like I just stay. I'm very much a hermit.
Yeah, I wasn't before this happened. I got out a little more than I do now. But I think we're all gonna look like the zombies from Walking Dead because we've been stuck inside for so long. We can finally get out.
No, you'll just look like me. This is what happens when you're stuck inside too long.
We can't see you. Your videos.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's true. On my stream, I'm the whitest person here, so
I don't
you'll
know.
just look like me.
I only look tan because the red lights in here are kind of giving me some
IRL,
color.
Kate.
I'm actually opaque.
We had this debate.
We were like, who's whiter?
Well, I used to tan, and then I realized that I wanted to look young for a long time, so I stopped tanning.
Yeah.
And then I started getting tattoos, and I wanted the colors to be more vibrant. So I figured, hey, if I have white skin, then my tattoos are going to be really, really colorful.
You're a blank canvas.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of colorful on white.
Oh, here comes the feet.
Look at my toenails. Thanks, Kins.
Thing that's all colorful, so I want it to be
all pretty.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love
Those
that.
are really pretty.
That's really pretty. It's hard to. I mean, like, I guess I can stand. Or
Oh, I want to see those colors. Those greens are really, really vibrant.
Sure, the light was a little brighter so I could see it.
Dang, Kins.
They're awesome. Look at
That
how juicy the colors are.
Juicy.
It's like not they're like like really, really just,
vibrant.
The vibrance.
I love that.
How long did it take?
Great.
The Velociraptor I got done all in one session because she was visiting from the UK, and I got it done in San Francisco. So it was like about 6.5 hours. It was really grueling and hard. But
how are you
got it done.
alive?
How am I alive?
I hate needles so much. I'm like,
well, it's different than an injection needle. You don't see it as a needle coming
like,
out. Yeah, it looks like a little like a pen almost.
oh.
So when you're getting
Stabbing
and
you
it just, like,
repeatedly?
Yeah.
hurt, it does really hurt.
Well, that depends on what type of part of the body that you get it on.
Mhm.
If you get it on a
Yeah.
tougher part of your body, it's much, much less painful. But like,
Yeah,
I
the
had
one on
13 hours
my-
worth of work on this arm and right here, and shoot,
Ooh.
it hurt more to have my arm so high up for 3 or 4 seconds.
Did it go numb?
Yeah, the part that sucks is like not being able to move.
Yeah, you're
For that long.
basically stuck there like, oh, geez, this freaking hurts after like a couple of.
Yeah, because I'm very like, I like to move and
Yeah,
be twitchy.
I'm the same way.
Restless leg syndrome.
Restless body.
So you couldn't find raptor socks at TwitchCon or wherever we were, and so instead you just got your legs raptored. Solution. There you go.
We found them. They just weren't quite the right color.
Put permanent socks on.
Yeah. Yeah. You needed that. You
Permanent
needed the right-
thigh highs.
Did
Exactly.
anybody else have ink?
Yes.
Besides.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's cool.
It actually goes all the way up across my whole
What is it? It's kind of hard to tell.
It's
How long does that
tattoos.
take?
About 80 hours. It's just coloring right
Crap.
here. Wait, what is it?
So cool.
That's like a full week's work plus overtime.
And then
It's a cool tattoo.
it's a phoenix, and he's holding a sword, and his talons and his feathers are coming down. And it's coming out of an AC/DC Zippo lighter.
Oh my god. I'm gonna follow you on Instagram if you
everywhere.
allow that. So I can see like
I need
high
to
quality.
finish it. This part is the most painful part, and it makes you want to die.
Really?
Which is why it's not
Ribcage,
finished.
really?
And then his wing goes all the way across my back, and I just need to have it colored.
What a beautiful concept.
I don't. That's again. I wanted color, but I
Mine
love
looks
tattoos.
crappy compared to y'all, so I'm not showing.
Show.
Come on, man.
Mine looks like 8-bit
on,
compared to
man.
your like
Come on,
64 bits. Sorry,
Why
I'm
do you
not-
think
I'm
there's
not-
got a tramp
Ooh,
stamp?
in my
Sticky
name?
Is it like a butterfly tattoo?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
All right, ladies, get out your quarters because the coin slide's coming.
Oh, let's make it hail.
That arm.
Oh wait, hold on.
What is that?
Is that some Marvel stuff? Batman stuff?
Pokemon?
Oh,
Hang on, let me get
cool.
my webcam so you can actually see it.
Yeah, because the light is kind of.
There you go.
Captain America.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Avengers.
Oh.
Iron Man, there's Thor, there's Wolverine. That's Jon Snow's sword.
Oh,
Nice.
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 The
Ooh,
ring
that's
from Lord of
cool.
the Rings, Spider-Man. Gears
So
of
basically
War.
everything you love.
Well, a lot of my favorite stuff, Breaking Bad, and then there's the Matrix code in the background, and my
That's
username's
awesome.
in Japanese, hidden, and the characters are hidden in the Matrix code.
Oh.
That's a
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Decepticon TIE Fighter bat symbol, and then the other one is just my arm that says "in a world."
Oh, that's so cool.
That's kind of like
the sound waves.
Steve Bloom's.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
a
good.
sound- yeah. That's where he's the one I got the idea from. He was I got him signed up as a guest for our
awesome.
local Memphis convention, and he showed his bang from Spike on Cowboy Bebop on his arm right here, and I was like, that's a cool idea. I should do something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
so cool.
but do a different sound.
Sugoi.
I love that. I love that concept.
It's amazing.
Doesn't look as good as Charles do.
Yeah, but
I
it
think
probably
it's
didn't
good.
hurt as bad either.
Looks like a professional artist
True.
versus like a kindergarten drawing on.
How long ago did you get yours though?
15 years, I guess.
Yeah, that's quite a while ago.
Yeah,
No,
like,
it's just-
technology has changed quite a bit with the
Well, in the
machines
South
and
too, we just have a bunch of like tattoo artists. They're
Oh,
not-
okay.
They're not the greatest. And then I
Well-
have friends that go to LA and Nashville, and their freaking stuff's amazing. I'm like, holy cow.
They're also expensive, like the high-end
Yeah, well, mine was
artists.
cheap, and that's also why it looks bad.
Like I had to get on a waiting list for my artist. I was like, if I'm dedicating 30% of my body, it better be fucking good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Me too. I was on a waiting list.
Damn.
Oh, if you guys are fans of Cowboy Bebop, have you guys seen Carol and Tuesday?
Heard of it?
It's so good. It's got amazing soundtrack and
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, it's so good. I'm
Yeah,
so
the
glad I
sound
met
is
somebody
really
else
good.
who's seen it. Oh my god,
Music's so good too.
it's so good. I love it. What's your favorite song?
I forgot. I have to check the playlist. What is your favorite?
I think I really like Loneliest Girl. Like I just can't get past it. I just love it. I think, but they're all so good. Love Yourself is so nice as well.
Oh yeah, I think this is my favorite. I think myself is so good. Sorry everyone. Yeah.
I was excited because Selena Ann was going to be down at SSXW and they were going to perform the songs from the anime. And
Oh, really?
if you catch the live stream, it was so good. It was on like January 18th, I think. So you got to see them perform all the songs from the anime live and they had the whole cast down
Really?
there. Yeah, it was so good. I wonder if you could look it up.
I'm jelly. So cool.
I'm sure you can still find it online because it's amazing. I'm so glad I met
really?
somebody
Can
else who's seen it. Yeah, I'll look for you and if I find it, I'll give you a link.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you, Hricko.
Yeah, you can put it in the Discord.
And
group.
now back to your podcast.
Back to the topic.
No, I love it. I love
Back to the
connecting.
topic.
And
The
just
rest
like
of us
the-
are just,
We took over
I'm
with our
trying to follow
tattoos.
everybody on Twitter right now.
aw.
Amo, can we talk about TOS or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Like,
Go for
okay,
it.
because
Let's
I
do
just
it.
been wondering. All right, I had a question because like there's always this one guy that comes into my stream and he'll be like, I'll tier 3 sub to you if you show your socks. Like he's just like super obsessed with like people wearing socks and they don't even have to be matching, but he's like, if you show them on the stream, I'll sub to you. But then I had somebody in my stream say like, you know, you can get banned for that. So like I stopped doing it. I was like, oh, I don't know.
think you get banned for showing someone your socks. I
What
just
about
think
your
it's
actual feet,
demeaning.
though?
I
Like, what
think
if it's actual feet?
I don't think you can show it with intention if you just don't have socks on and you don't mention it. I think it's fine just like as you're streaming, but once you start like pandering to the feet people, I think that's where it crosses the line.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah, once it
fetishizing
becomes
it.
like the focus, then that's like, all
That's
right,
when it's
knock it
bad.
off.
I
Okay.
saw a stream though of a camera and the girl was stepping on stuff in her bare feet and
Oh,
that was the whole
God, I
stream.
saw
I was like,
that
how is this
too.
allowed?
Oh, that's weird.
Making wine.
I reported
I don't know
that.
if it got banned or not, but I just was like, this is absolutely like a fetish
fetish.
word.
And she
Depends on
wasn't.
the
She wasn't like
context.
talking at all.
No,
No.
it was just a foot. It was like a
Oh.
girl. It was like, so the camera was her feet like coming down and like close up on her toes and she's like stepping on dough.
Was
and
it maybe
stepping on-
foot ASMR?
I don't know what it was, but it was pretty fetish.
What category was this in?
I'm like,
For,
this
for us old people,
category-
what is TOS? Because what I looked up says thoracic outlet syndrome. I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Oh no, that's
terms of service. What's allowed versus what's not
Oh,
allowed.
terms
on
of
the
service.
platform.
Yeah,
Okay,
terms
thank
of
you.
service on Twitch.
I don't abbreviate everything. So.
Yeah, it's a very murky, muddy.
It's like, are they talking about thoracic outlet syndrome? That's pretty serious.
I don't even know what that.
So is
That's
that
what TOS said when I looked it up on Google.
so was that your question, Letty? I don't know if I
mean-
answered my thoughts on it.
No,
or
no,
not.
you did.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
I'm allowed it. It's also like, I'm not, you also just can't ask for people to sub, like to do something, right? Like if they were to
Right.
be like, oh, like if you tier, or if you do this, then I'll tier 3, then that's okay, right? That's fine.
Yeah, something like that. It depends what it is. Like you can have
like nothing. You
goals
can't get harmful.
for-
They don't just don't harm yourself, and then you're fine.
Yeah, I think like basically like what you can't do is have goals for taking clothes off, goals for showing body parts specifically,
Drinking,
goals for
smoking.
drinking. Yeah, like stuff like that. When it's like exchanging for like either like sexual someone's
Scary.
fetish or like endangerment, which could be
Or they're like,
alcohol.
if you lick your elbow, I'll give you a sub.
No, because I had some people be like, "Oh, I'll donate to you if you take like 2 shots right now," and I'm like, I don't know if that's TOS or
I think
like
that
if they'll
is.
smoke.
That's
That's what I
TOS.
thought. Okay.
Could you, if someone donated or sub,
Then I could
you
do
could
it.
cheers. You could be like, hey man, thanks, cheers.
Yeah, that's
but
true,
like
too.
if you're using it as like a, because it could be interpreted like, what if you get completely trashed because a bunch of people sub to you and you die?
Right. If it's like your decision, I think it's different. But if it's like you are allowing them to control your dangerous actions, then it's against TOS.
Yeah.
All right. What about flipping off the camera? Because I heard that was TOS too, but I don't know.
What?
Oh, I don't think.
I don't know.
I hope not.
I think
okay.
I think hateful
I hope not.
speech that might fall under a category of like vindictive hateful speech.
Fuck you, and then you're flipping off the camera to someone, but like that's
It's
not
hard,
that's
'cause
okay.
so many
I think
I don't
people
know.
are
Gamer
taking advantage of
streamers
your
curse
newness
and
on
are
Twitch
mean.
so that
I
they
don't
can feel
know.
some kind of power and control over how you conduct your stream.
Yeah.
I think the
'Cause
flipping
I
off
noticed that a lot when I
is-
was new. People would try to guide me. You can do this, but you can't do that. You can do this, you can't do that, because they wanted to feel that
Mhm, that's true.
satisfaction of being the one who helped me find my way. But then you realize you're just kind of like grasping for any kind of power or it's weird. Just be careful who you take advice from. They
That
might not
part
have
is
your best
true.
interest at heart.
I think it all
That's
depends on
why-
context for flipping off. Like if you're like hating on somebody and being racist and all this stuff, and then you flip, it's like part of that is all in it. But if you're just like a troll is in chat and you're just like fuck you, I think that's okay because like they came to your chat and you're
'Cause
telling
they're
them to go
attacking
away.
you, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like if you are like toxic and like targeting like a group of people or a specific person and like
That's why I just like to ask other verified people because they know more than me. So that's why I'd rather not ask like a random, you know.
Oh yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, 'cause-
someone in your chat will
yeah,
just tell you.
like if you're
Yeah.
just like joking around with your chat, I think it's fine. But if you're like targeting a person and harassing them with flipping off, then it's a problem. It's like all
Yeah.
contextual of how far you go with it.
Yeah,
But
that's it for the TOS for me.
yeah,
I mean,
there's
I was
a
flipping off the mancubus that was killing me in Doom the other day.
He deserved it.
I think it's okay.
yeah.
He had it coming.
There are
Yeah,
some
oh,
weird TOS things though, for sure. That it's kind of a gray area on for people. Like I think like especially like style of dress is like a weird thing because it's like sometimes they'll get mad at somebody for doing yoga in a sports bra, but it's also like contextually appropriate still.
Yeah.
So that's
Do you
kind
think
of
it has
weird.
to do with how they're wearing the sports bra? Like, are they pushing it to the limit where
I don't know. I think
their
honestly,
areolas are peeking out?
No, I
or-
don't even think it's that. I don't think they're actually showing that at all. I think part of it is the chat. Is if the chat is being like sexual in the comments and it's not
Oh,
being
yeah.
moderated, then it's like this is sexual content that you're allowing because this must be sexual because you're not rejecting the notion of it being sexual by not moderating your chat.
That's a big thing. I noticed
So-
people, streamers will get in trouble. You have to moderate your chat. Like, you can't let the chat
trustworthy
act like animals. Like, you could get in big trouble if they're just like,
So if they're talking the like
if
Pornhub
they're
and all that
talking
stuff
about you in a
constantly
very
and, like,
sexually explicit way, and you're not,
you can get in
like-
trouble for that.
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that
You're
either.
still kind of responsible for
Yes.
what you're
The
putting
chat.
out and what you're getting
Yeah.
back, and if you're like receiving it positively or negatively. So
yeah,
if you're
like
rejecting
anybody
it,
who
like,
makes
okay, it's
sexual
fine.
comments at me gets an automatic timeout or ban. Like, it's not even. It's just like, nope, you're
Yeah.
gone.
People are like,
Even if
whoa,
it's
it
in
wasn't
the-
even that bad. I'm like, you're not that bad and Twitch is not that bad are two different things. And I would
Yeah,
rather your
like, you
account get
can't-
banned than mine. So
Thrown in the dungeon.
You can't
Down the
humor
drain.
when they start asking bizarre things or saying really lewd things to you, like you can't, that are like inappropriate. You can't let it slide. You gotta get it,
Yeah.
purge them, ban them,
Time
whatever.
'em out or whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you decide your punishment is and what kind of community you want to foster, it's up to you. But you do have to do something about it.
Well, I
Even-
had. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, what if you let them have like a couple comments, like rather than just like not keep going
Like-
every
Like
jab,
what? Like the
I don't know, like for instance, like my chat, one of my like it was my mod too, but like he brought up gooter. I don't know if you guys know what a gooter is. It's basically like your pussy almost or whatever. Okay. But like they just
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, yeah, they're eating right now. That's fine. Yeah. But no, like they brought up like Gooter, and they literally like were just talking about it nonstop, and I was like, all right, like I wasn't commenting anything on it either. Like I was just letting them do their thing, and that's why I wanted to know. It's like, what if you
That's different. I mean, if they were saying to you, I want to put my face in your Gooter, let me do that. Oh, you have a nice Gooter, then yeah, you
No,
probably
they
have to
weren't
get
saying
rid of
anything
that.
like that. They're just
Oh, then
saying
that's a little different. You
stupid
can
shit.
probably have adult conversations, but if they're sexualizing you in a way that could be look like you are soliciting a kind of I guess cam girl experience, then that could be used against you, which is why you just make sure you know, like
heard
again,
Gooter.
like Amouranth
I've
said,
heard
you can do
pooter.
yoga.
I've never.
Yeah, I've heard of cooter. I've never heard
Cooter,
of good
Gooter either.
Where's the gooter?
Better than good. Gooder. It's more gooder.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Amouranth, I had some of your fans like coming to my DMs.
I'm so sorry.
They were
Continue.
like, yeah, Amouranth. I'm like, dude, whoa. He's like, oh, I thought that's what you were in. I'm like, no, it's called networking with other creators who have more followers or have as many followers as you have. I was just playing around. Yeah, it's just a joke.
Oh, God, I hate it when they do that. I was just joking. Like, bro, no, you weren't.
That's their number one defense mechanism. I was just making a joke.
I was just joking.
Look, if you're the only one laughing, it wasn't a very good joke. Now, was
Exactly.
The
It was
first
very funny. It
excuse
was
is
the
I was
funniest joke
just
I've ever heard.
joking. The
Everyone
second
knows.
excuse is I was drunk, and the third excuse is it was my brother. So my brother was using the computer.
That excuse all the time. I'm like, it wasn't your fucking brother, bro. Like,
They had a song that described the entire Me Too movement back in the 90s. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Just kind of, that kind of just describes the whole thing.
Shaggy song.
No matter how much evidence they have, wasn't me. Didn't do it.
Another thing I heard about. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was saying that's definitely one of the downsides of having such like a widespread audience is you also get the really weird people who will just go and like start talking to everybody else who's like associated with you and being weird to them, and it's like I feel bad for that. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Real life person do that to me. Like
I didn't hold you
started
responsible.
messaging. They started messaging my real life friends, and they started messaging my mods, and I was like, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Well,
I'm not gonna be your girlfriend. What's up?
People would actually contact my daughter once my daughter was old enough to get on social media. My daughter, my wife, just trying to get in contact with me or trying to mess with them because they find out about them from my social media or whatever. Yeah, it's.
I'm so glad I don't have kids. That just sounds hard.
You want some? I got extras.
I got a whole bunch down in the basement.
Oh my god.
Oof. I'm one of y'all's creepy.
I don't know. I didn't get to go I didn't get on social media till I was in my 20s because I'm older and it wasn't around. But I can't imagine. Like I don't know how to handle that when I have kids. How old do they get to be before they get on social media? Because I know the creepy shit that happens.
Now, so you know.
I mean, I would suggest
when
no
they're
younger
18.
than 10.
What? I was like, you can't get on Facebook till you're 18.
Yes.
I'm just saying she's
Ridiculous.
18 now, so it's like she's been on it for a while. My wife and I both agreed like 15, 16, depends on how responsible we
Okay.
are at the time.
And you can't take sexy pictures of yourself until you're 18 because that's technically
You can't do the sexy pictures unless it's parent approved or it's not in this house.
Not in my house.
It freaks me out when I see
Not in my
13-year-old
house.
girls taking lewds. I'm like, what? Where's her mother? This
Somebody
is
turned me
like-
on to Likey. You heard of Likey? It's
No.
like a social media app, but somebody told me about it because they have some really great filters on it. And then I noticed, somebody was like, no, you don't want to go on Likey. And I'm like, well, why not? And they're like, well, that's basically just pedophilia because it's all underage girls doing the same things that overage girls are doing on TikTok with the slutty dances and the stripping down and whatever. I'm like, no, really? So I've never actually posted. I use the filters and download the videos and then post them elsewhere because I'm like, I don't want to be part of this. Jeez.
Yeah.
And it's what's featured on their main page. It's like they're not even trying to hide what kind of app this is. I'm like, you guys are just inviting the cringe and the creeps and the pervs.
It's like grooming girls who aren't old enough to know what they're doing.
Yes. Little girls that are 9 years old doing the same stuff that girls at 18 to 21 do.
Yeah.
No, kids nowadays look so old. Like
It's
I'm
so
like,
true.
What the
They
heck?
do lots
They
of
look like
makeup,
older than
everyone.
I am.
I was not allowed to wear makeup till I was 16. Like it was a rule, and if I even tried to put mascara on, my dad would kill me.
I was the same
That's
way.
because
Yeah,
you were
16.
too pretty and didn't need it.
Because I don't want older men looking
Thanks,
at you
Dad.
in a sexual way.
I always thought it was like, yeah, you should let them do their own makeup when they're 5. I think it'd be great. I have my
Yeah, but
phone
no,
out.
see, you think you're being 5-head, but then you go on YouTube and there's these makeup tutorials.
Oh.
Every freaking girl is a makeup artist now. I had to learn that shit on my own. When I was 15, 16, my makeup sucked because nobody taught me how to do it.
Yeah.
And now everyone has like perfect Kardashian. Like I didn't even
Right.
know contouring was a thing until I was like 27.
It wasn't a thing till we were 27. It didn't exist.
That's true.
I know. I was like, wait, what? You put on so much makeup on your face you can't even see like the texture anymore? What is this butchery?
See, that's
seen some
fine
bad
because you just use
makeup
the
jobs.
filter and then no one can tell how cakey it is. That's
Right?
fine.
Got such a cake line around the bottom. It's
I
like
hate
Hannibal
cake.
Lecter with a fake face
Oh,
on.
I hate
No,
it.
I want my freckles to come through at least a little bit.
Okay,
Don't wanna
the
look
best
like-
makeup for that is like Glossier. Have you guys heard of that? It's lovely. It's so good. You can be really lazy, just slap it on your face, and it just corrects like the redness and whatnot.
Oh,
lets your
that- yeah,
freckles
see, that's
come
all
through.
I'm gonna get some right
Yeah.
now.
It's so yeah, you really should because like it works for everybody. Everybody wear it, and you can't tell that you're
Can it
wearing
make me
makeup.
look like Ryan Reynolds?
It can.
yes.
Can you give me an 8-pack?
You have to get the Ryan Reynolds edition.
Does Ryan Reynolds have an 8-pack? He like I feel like his
Oh,
charm.
I'm sure
is-
he's got 9.
He's
or
a
10.
12-pack.
What's
He's
funny
got
is so
at
Ryan
least-
Reynolds, he's obviously attractive, but I think his attractiveness comes in his sense of humor. Like if you took
He
that
is
away from him,
funny
I
and
feel like
sexy.
he would be
Just be a
as
normal guy.
How do you think I
Yeah,
got married?
true.
It wasn't for my looks.
dude.
Just gotta make him laugh, man.
Personality
Exactly.
and humor is up here, and looks is here. Like I swear, a guy
It's a
who's-
proven fact. The more a woman laughs, the wetter she gets from not even trying. It's
I
true.
have-
Be honest, it's just sleight
just
of hand.
pushes
though.
it out.
It's
We're like,
sleight of
oh,
hand.
let this
Feels.
happen.
Keep you laughing, you won't ever notice what's going on.
It's true.
You'll be
If you
crying
can,
and you won't be
like-
able to see well. You know.
If you can seduce her through humor, man, she will be obsessed with you.
It's literally
that
the
all the
laugh so
time.
All I
hard
had to
that
do
you
was
wet
talk
your
like Ryan
pants, but
Reynolds
it's not
is.
urine. You know, it's the same thing.
What's the same thing?
You laugh so hard you wet your pants, but it's not urine. It's just that's
yeah.
that's how funny guys do it. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Speaking of that, I actually saw a video where like some chick had that happen, and then she was like sobbing for like 45 minutes, like in Glee.
Oh, she was laughing so hard
Oh, I
she
was
was
like,
crying.
No, like really happy. I guess I don't know. But it was really weird. My friend sent it to me. He's like, "Do you know anything about this? Because this is something that a man will never ever understand." I'm like,
I don't understand. I don't.
Men and some women, some non-gender specific people may or may not understand.
Maybe when I was a teenager, my hormones were all over the place. I'd cry pretty easily. But
find
Oh
out.
yeah. What was your
No.
best
Did you
and
catch
worst
'em all?
dating stories?
Ooh.
If you're talking about your hormones.
Oh, I didn't really get to date back when I was having hormones.
Me neither.
Oh, you mean just
Oh.
Not
like
for lack of
like
trying.
like
No,
period
cry. I
hormones?
just cried easy. Like anything
Oh,
would make me
okay.
cry. Because I was really skittish when I was a teenager. I was really shy. I was really nervous, and I was really uncomfortable around people. So I was always afraid I'd embarrass myself, and I just was just.
Do you
It took
drunk
me a
cry?
long- Do I drink drunk?
No,
Okay.
like when you're drunk, do you cry a lot or like?
Not a lot, but
Or
things
not a
would
lot,
make me
but-
cry if
Just
I
a little
drink.
Oh, okay.
I'd be like, oh,
Just a good healthy cry.
Movies do make me cry. The emotional moment in a movie, happy or sad, that does get me crying. But like actual things don't really make me cry.
So if somebody kills the puppy in a movie,
Oh,
Oh,
You're just
worst
like,
I'm
movie
dying.
ever. 1 out of 10.
I
Sorry,
cry.
John.
I cry
I get
so
more
easily
sad if like the
almost.
wife dies or the
Done.
husband dies. That really, I'm like, no.
Really? I'm like, I don't
Oh.
care. If
I'm just
animals
saying,
die,
I'm the
though.
opposite. I like the animals too.
Jeez.
The
I love
animals
the
make me
animals.
sad, but
I
just
watched
have
John
so much
Wick. I was like,
empathy.
oh, they
Same.
didn't.
Right?
Oh, no, they
How
did.
dare they?
You broke the rule. You're not
Yeah, but
supposed
you
to
know
kill
what?
the
The puppy
dog.
dying was more sad for me because it represented his dead wife. That's why it made me sad, because that was the last present she gave to him before she died. Or as like he's mourning her death because she died, that she was sick, and she had a puppy delivered to him right after the funeral. Like she planned for it, and so that's why it made me sad when they killed the puppy. I was like, that's the last living thing he had of his wife that he loved so
I still haven't watched them because I know that's what
Spoiler
happens.
alert.
I refuse.
5 minutes of the movie. Shut up.
Oh, I don't care if you spoil it.
Leave it
I
out
don't
for
ever plan to
15
watch them.
spoiler at this point. Yeah,
it's good. I like John Wick. It's really, I like the whole world. Like the world building of it is actually very creative. The whole Assassin's Guild thing they got going on and their like rules and etiquettes. It's really cool.
Very Hitman.
Yeah, the currency.
What's the matter, Caitlin? Don't you like? Understand?
I don't want to. I don't want to watch dogs die.
There's actually like a website called doesthedogdie.com.
Yeah.
And you
Oh my
can
gosh,
find
yeah.
out if like a book or a movie you're going to watch or a show has a dead dog, then it'll tell you. You'd be like, no, I'm not going to watch that.
Number 1, Old
Yeah.
Yeller.
Dude, that's what I don't understand. My parents let me watch Old Yeller when I was a kid, but I wasn't allowed to
too.
see any sex scenes in any movies. Like Titanic stopped well before they had
Yeah,
sex
they let
for
you
me.
see death, but no love.
Yeah, I couldn't see. Yeah, I couldn't see sex scenes. PG-13 movies with sex scenes not allowed. But my dad was like, "We're watching Patriot. Sit down."
yeah, same. That and Braveheart.
It was historical. I also got
Right.
to see Braveheart. That was traumatizing.
Very true.
Well, America is
People
backwards.
did that during those times those movies were based on.
You know, I think his reasoning was to understand the heavy cost of war and to feel it and to understand how terrible.
But you're
it
not
is.
allowed to understand the hot and heavy at all. Just
Well,
the heavy
maybe it was
cost.
They didn't kill any
older.
dogs in either of those movies either.
Okay, I thought Jason Isaacs in The Patriot was really hot though, even when he was a dick. He had like his long British hair, and he's just like,
Oh, Jason.
burn the church.
Well,
The guy that's the bad guy in every single movie.
I know Jason Isaacs is so attractive, but he's always the bad guy. He was like Hook.
That's probably why he's attractive then.
I
Do you
know,
have
there's
like a
something
certain
about
thing that you
Elroy.
find attractive in people? Is there like a certain thing that does it for you? Like humor, whether it's like
Yeah, humor for
Oh
me.
yeah, they have to
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah, humor is
Funny
number
girls
one.
are
Humor
great.
important.
I have like I
That's
have
mine
a
too.
personality attractiveness. Like I'm attracted to a certain personality, but I also have like a separate physical attractiveness. Like if I was gonna pick a male stripper to entertain me, and they often don't really coincide, so I usually just go for the personality.
how often do you have male strippers entertaining you?
Not enough. I wish.
How long is your podcast?
One pokes in from the corner of her
It's like,
screen.
you can get one in right now.
She pulls out a scroll. It's like, start with the A's.
What would their names be? If I had to be entertained by a male stripper, I would pick Odysseus. That would be the one.
You come out saying, "Well, hello there. I hear you like a little Greek history."
Yeah.
It's just a scholar. It's not a stripper.
Is that a scroll in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Is that a papyrus?
Oh my god. I've never been to like a strip club or anything like that.
neither.
So I'm like
I've never seen a
super
male
sheltered.
stripper. I just imagined. I just use that word.
You
like,
may have seen them, you just didn't know they were real.
I just meant physically. It's hard to separate personality and physicality when it comes to attractiveness because they usually come together.
People don't know
Is
I'm a
it-
stripper whenever they see me.
Thought you may appeal to the plus-size women.
Yeah, I think though people don't have to be physically attractive. If you get to know them, then suddenly like something about their personality can make them more attractive. Definitely.
Yeah.
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 Because I think
Oh, yeah,
most
for
of my
sure.
boyfriends like I was never like attracted to physically, and then they would like in my cases unfortunately mold themselves into what I would want personality wise. But when it's genuine, that's amazing that you can find someone who's like, oh, I wouldn't have gone for you just based on like a menu of hot guys, and you wouldn't be one of them. But because
Yeah.
you make
There's
me
a hot
laugh
guy
so
menu.
much,
And it's not just the laugh, it's like the whole how they talk, the facial expressions they use, their gestures, their just the tone of their voice. It's like a whole thing. And
I
it's
think-
very attractive.
Yeah, I think the expressiveness is really important too, because not only are they able to convey their emotions, but you feel like, okay, cool. They're able to like connect with you, you know? Like just
Right.
I think expression, like funny and being able to express themselves in a healthy way. Very
As
important.
a side trend of a
Intelligence
lot of-
is really important. Like
Yeah.
I've like dated guys where I've had people where I'm a reader. I read books, a lot of books, and I remember I've dated super hot guys, super fit, and then I asked them, I'm like, so you read any books? And I remember this guy was like, fuck no. And I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Like, you're dumb as a rock. This isn't gonna work.
Yeah, the hot dumb guy.
Every time
they
you asked
get-
him to read a
they're
book, he's
so
like,
unattractive.
what you were saying?
That's
Look at
not
this,
far off.
look
It's
at
like-
this distraction.
like you can clean my pool. That's
Yeah.
Ah, it's a pool boy.
You can train me.
We'll find a use for you.
See,
somewhere.
I'm always the fat married guy that's the friend of the girl that all the guys are hitting on, and that they're all, and it kills me because I can see the naivety. They're just like, oh, they're just really nice. I'm like, no, they are all trying to get with you, and you're just not. You're too blind to it. You just think they're just being friendly. You need somebody to watch your back. I mean, I've had friends that just walk away and leave their cup sitting there. I'm like, that's not smart. You're in a club and you have no idea who these people are.
Wait, girls.
What do you
still
guys
that?
think are
They
big
don't-
red flags if someone is like a creeper? Because a lot of girls, I think, are unaware.
In person or on the internet?
Both. It can be both.
Online, definitely when they keep like messaging you nonstop and you don't even reply to them. Like I had this one guy that literally I could go back months, like back from before, and he just says, "Hey, how's your day going?" And I just don't reply, but he keeps talking to himself. I'm like, dude, do you not get the memo? Like you don't get the hint?
I found one the other day and I didn't notice it, so I was like, "How long has this guy been messaging me?" So I started scrolling up, and the very first message was a dick picture, and he said he was my biggest fan, and I was like,
I was
I
like,
got bamboozled.
think so.
Stop messaging me after the dick pic.
It's like, actually, you're not the biggest I've seen.
Actually,
to
you're
be
under
honest.
average.
Actually, so I banned him from my Discord, and under reason I said for having a small and deformed penis.
Yes. So yeah, you're not the only one then, because
just
I was
question
wondering like how many of you have experienced that, where like someone will message you saying nice things or like lovey-dovey things in some cases, and then you don't see their message or don't get to it for like a day or sometimes months, and then that person goes 180 and is like a super hater on you, like
But
super
it was the
toxic.
opposite. He opened with the dick pic. I just didn't catch it, and then he did the hey, hi, smiley face, hey, hi, like long enough for me to, when I finally like saw it, I started scrolling up like, how long has this guy been messaging me? And I guess a month ago he sent me a dick pic and kept trying to talk to me.
They do that sometimes, but for me personally, when I get people like that, they're like, hey, hi, how are you? Hey, they ask like, can we Skype, can we have a call? They're like, you're so pretty, oh, I want to do all these things, and I don't respond, and then they're like, fuck you, whore.
Yeah.
You bitch.
It's like they'll be like, you know what, you didn't respond to me, go die. Like, I hate you.
It's
and they're like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, they start off with, I'm your biggest fan, and by the end of it, like, oh, you died, fire.
I know. So entitled.
Yeah.
And weird.
Yeah.
What to you guys are like, is like something that you know that somebody's a shit person that you're not going to get along with? Like, you meet somebody, you're like, okay, immediately that's a red flag, and I don't want to know this person anymore.
Guys who are neg like constantly, like their humor is putting people down.
I was
without
just about
any
to
kind
say
of-
that. I was just about to say
It's
that.
so ugly.
My
I'm
like
okay.
biggest pet peeve is people who nag to try to like
Like
get you to
I
like
think
them or
teasing's
get
fine,
attention.
tasteful teasing, but it has to be balanced out with
Yeah.
nice things. But constantly just battering you and laughing about it, and then when you complain, oh, it's just a joke. Can't you take a joke? I didn't know you're just such a saucy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think like one-uppers as well, like people that always have to like one-up everybody else. Like, yeah, but with me, I did this. Like, I hate that so much.
That's my mother-in-law.
I know.
Oh, you had a 3.9 GPA? I had a 3.975.
Hey, that's me when the topic of tattoos comes up. Crap.
Oh, you like feet? I like feet way better than you.
I have so many more feet than you do.
My collection.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She also swoops in after somebody else has done everything and like, oh, look what all I did. I'm like, you weren't even here. You just showed up 5 minutes ago.
I agree though, when they put people down. Like, another thing is when they try to compliment you while putting someone else down, like, oh, you're so much better than this other person.
yeah.
I'm like, I hate that. Can you not do that?
I actually, it's really funny you bring that up, because I said this last week, but ever since I started streaming, people come into my channel and basically call me Amouranth 2.0 every day. for
It's
2
okay.
years.
They call me Scuffed Scarlett Johansson. So I mean, even I'm scuffed.
So it's like it's a trickle down
You're
effect.
scuffed. I'm
But,
scuffed. We're all scuffed if we're not real
But
celebrities.
then what's weird is then I'll always be like, oh, thank you very much. She's such a talented
so
and like a very
shitty, though.
successful woman.
I hate
And then
that.
the random person will be like, oh, but you're so much better. And I'm like, don't say that. That's weird.
Oh,
like, what do
I
you
hate
mean?
those people so much.
We're completely different. Like, yes, I might remind you of her at a first glance, but don't compare us. She's obviously very successful. So what the fuck?
And
are you
I wouldn't
on
even get
about?
that vibe from you. Like, I guess because I spend the most time with myself, I wouldn't get that vibe from you. I wouldn't be like,
I don't understand you. I don't actually, because I look at us and I try to compare, because I hear it every day. My own boyfriend, before I started streaming, he pulled up your stream and he said, hey, come here. And he pointed you. I'd never heard of, I wasn't big on Twitch. I didn't even, he goes, it's you. And I think you were doing some kind of like, you had a horse head on your, like doing some stuff.
does he say
And I
it's
was
like a horse? Or
No, I think it was like your personality was very goofy and playful, and he was like, "It's you, this is you," and I just was like, "I don't know." And then he pulled up your Instagram, and I was like, "I can kind of see it in some pictures." And ever since then, it's just been I'm Amouranth 2.0. I've stepped Amouranth. The first time I was on Train Rex, he was like, "We have Amouranth sister," and I was like, "Can I be Scarlet, please?"
Aww.
Yeah, like you're your
so
own
funny.
person, and you do very different things on your stream.
But when they try to cut, but then when people try to rebound and say, "Oh, you're better," or "You're this, that," I get uncomfortable. I'm like, don't say that. Like, we're different, and she has her thing, and I have my thing, and it's disrespectful to even say that. Like, you don't have to, you don't have to put someone else
what
down.
I'm 100% sure also is that those guys say you're better than blah 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 to both of them, like to all the different girls.
I think so.
They just try to see who they can get in with on their good side.
In their heads, they just see this as I can't ever get to that celebrity, but I found somebody who looks like that's. In my mind, it's attainable. It's well, in their minds, it's like this is more attainable than that thing that's just beyond my, But it's all still the same.
3,000 people in her chat.
Isn't
She'll
that
never
weird?
respond to me.
It's
but
like
Scarlett's got 100
I'm discount Scarlet, a different Scarlet, and this other Scarlet is discount me. It's like
oh my
Scarlet,
gosh, it's the weirdest.
Amaranth,
That's
and
like
Scarlet.
That just means you've reached another level.
I'm a Scarlet
of celebrity.
sandwich.
You're gonna have
Personally, I think it's
Amaranth.
rude to mention
It's
other,
like Amaranth,
other
but way
streams
better.
and somebody else's stream. Like, I think that's rude
I
when
just
people
think when
mention
people-
another stream in somebody's stream, because it's like
absolutely.
this person's like, I don't even like it when they mention my stream and somebody else's stream, because I'm like, this is their time. Like, don't talk about me. Have some
Well, I mean,
respect.
okay. In the exception being like, oh, your friend so and so sent me over to your channel.
Yeah, that's
that's usually how I find other people is from friends I'm already following. They're like, oh, you should go check this.
Yeah, I do think it's weird when people do this like weird like pseudo promotion. They'll come in and be like, "Hey, I'm watching this other stream right now. It's really crazy what they're doing." It's like, okay, but what does it have to do with
freaking bait? That's all that is.
Yeah, I hate that too when people come into my stream and they're like, oh, I'm streaming too. Why do you have so many viewers and I don't? And I'm like, maybe because I'm streaming and you're watching my
I stream 15 hours a day, bozo.
But it's like they're not. They're like, I'm live right now. It's like, well, you're not even live engaged with your own stream. You're here watching mine.
You're not reading
chat.
I'm streaming right now. I'm like, well, then get off of my stream and focus on yours.
Exactly.
I've gotten in trouble on a few streams because I was brand new and I was just like, hey, I'm John Bailey. I do this and this. And people were like, oh, he's spamming. He's talking about himself. And I'm like, no, I'm introducing myself. And then I'm gone. Like,
there is a bit of a etiquette when it comes to promotion. I think.
Well, it's difference between promotion and me like, hey, this is me. This is what I do. Nice to meet everybody. And then just instantly like.
I think if a viewer comes in and he immediately starts telling everybody that he's a streamer, I find it a little annoying, and we'll tell him to kind of pipe down. But if it's someone that comes in all the time and I notice them, because I address my viewers, I'm small enough that I can still have like a one-on-one with everyone who's in there. If they mention anything about streaming, I'll ask them to tell us about it, because hey, they come into my channel all the time and they bring positive energy, so let them have a moment to tell them about themselves.
I never say, oh, I'm a streamer. I just say, oh, hey, my voice actor. I worked on this game that you're playing right now.
Oh, that's weird that they were getting out of that.
Like,
I would be like,
it's like, oh, you're fake account. You've got to be spam. You're not really the guy. And I'm like, yes, I am.
See them if they see it's fake though.
They don't
'cause, like,
believe you.
know.
You're too cool.
Yeah.
I guess everybody just makes the assumption that once somebody achieves some kind of goal in their career, that is like, oh, that person never actually gets online. It's just some fake person, or it's
Yeah,
some
they
assistant
assume
doing
like
their
if you're
social
actually
media.
successful, why
dehumanize
would you be
you.
on Twitch?
Yeah, they disassociate me from like just being a regular guy who's just stuck at home on his phone waiting for.
It is hard to believe though,
someone to get
because
out
I
of
feel
bed.
like so many people would try to impersonate a famous person just to get extra attention.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
That's true, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they
a ton
want
of couple of people ruined it
always
for everybody.
trying to.
That's the only way. That used to be the way to get verified. If you could show Twitter that other people had a fake account that looked like yours, they're like, well, we need to make yours verified so people know.
Oh, does someone want to make a fake Scarlet account?
It
doesn't work.
Of each other.
How many followers on Twitter do you need to have for this to work?
I don't think there is a number, because I've seen people with very few numbers have verification and people that have tons.
It is kind of enigmatic.
You just gotta being like an org or like kind of a known person, basically.
You have to know someone who works there.
Yeah,
Or like
that too.
be interviewed, have websites, have like a bunch of articles about you. Then you might be able to be. But normally it's like you have to know someone.
I got verified on Instagram by accident.
By accident?
By
Well, I-
How does that
accident?
happen?
What? How did
Yeah,
that happen?
okay,
What happened? I want to know.
Long ago, Facebook used to be
Four-
very easy to get
Four
verified.
score.
So used to, when you had a Facebook professional page, all you had to do was show a copy of your license and like, yep, that's you, verified. And then Facebook bought Instagram, and I was instantly verified because I was already verified on Facebook. Oh, well, I don't have to worry about that. It just showed up one day, and I'm like, oh, okay.
You cheated.
Must be nice.
Now Facebook makes
What
it
are
hard.
the perks of? Because obviously the benefits of being verified on Twitch are pretty obvious. You get different monetization. You get all these tools unlocked for you.
You get
What
the
is it
check
for
mark.
Twitter and Instagram? Do you actually get anything, or just
With
Oh.
verification, people will notice you over other people. Your stuff will get more featured than their will. If you replied or tagged somebody famous in it, they're more likely to see
So it's
it
just
because
it's the soft benefit. You get
it's
a
more
gold
yeah,
star
it's
next
more
to
like
your
a
name.
filter than anything else, and it's just kind of like it's like an achievement unlocked kind of deal.
All right. yeah, so
Instagram pretty much the same way. Like you're more likely to get featured more often, and people will notice your comments and replies and whatnot.
Do you know how to get verified on Twitter though? Because that's one I still have not figured out.
I honestly don't know how I got verified on Twitter, to be perfectly frank. I think the guys who ran Honest Trailers just got everybody that worked on it verified somehow because it just showed up for me one day, and I'd been bugging them. I've been bugging. I know that you're supposed to tag @verified and at Twitch, and you can try messaging them. I tried everything, and nothing happened for me. So sometimes all it takes is a really big celebrity that's already a fan of yours or a friend of yours being like, "This person's legit." Make them verified, and somebody that
Twitter listens,
Twitter would pay
Okay, who
attention
should
to.
we- Like
they're
I
"Oh,
said,
Dwayne
depends
Johnson
on who you
vouches for
know."
this dude. Like Dwayne Johnson could get anybody verified if he wanted to. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now how to find one of those.
And of course, if you're in the Illuminati,
I mean, obviously.
Shadow
I got
Council.
verified.
Chad, I
Yeah.
had my chance. I could have had Jake
sacrifice small
Veritan
children to a
verify
demon,
me
but I
in
got
exchange
verified.
for a date. Should have been like, I'll go out with you if you verify me on Twitter. I missed my opportunity.
Who do I have to screw around here to get verified?
Ferdinand, what was his name? I don't even know his name.
Oh
That
my
hockey player guy. Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State
Yeah,
Farm.
exactly.
Khakis.
Okay, Ferdinand. Okay. I had my chance. I've messed
I'm
it
still
up.
trying to figure out how to get followers on Twitter though, so I'll hit
It's
you
so
up when
hard
it's
to
time to
grow.
get
I've been
verified.
stuck on Twitter for like
Hard to
5
grow on
years,
Twitter.
dude.
I've been on Twitter
Like
for less than a
Twitter.
year. I got on it just so I could tell people when I go live for stream.
You guys want some
it
pro
got to
strats on how to
25,000,
how to
and
grow?
it just stuck.
I do.
Make a
Wait,
Twitter
what?
pod of other people who do what you do. So all of you guys just make a group on Twitter and share each other's stuff and interact with it. That's it. Because then it pops up in
I
everyone
already
else's
do that,
timeline.
and it doesn't help.
I try. What
I have
I've been
people that
doing,
retweet my stuff and
So are you saying there's a secret Twitter pod I haven't been invited to, Bendo? Is that what you're trying?
It's not me. I don't have one. I'm not in one anymore.
Oh, okay.
What is a Twitter
but-
pod? Like a Discord for
It's
people
like an
who wanna-
AirPod.
You can have a Twitter group or a Messenger group or wherever you want. It's just a big message group of people. And when you make a post, you
give
put
it,
in there,
and then they retweet it.
Everyone else retweets it, likes it, comments it, and that's how. Then
I already
it
have
hangs
people
up
do that
so
for
much
me.
more.
Seems like one of those like host for host, follow for follow.
It almost is, and I don't like it. Yeah,
I don't
do
like
it.
those because it's not real. Like I would rather have like 100 real fans than 1,000 like for
But there's
like.
still
just-
real people who follow
Yeah,
you.
but they're not.
That's the weird thing.
But they're not
Well,
there for
when
you
Twitter-
necessarily. They're just like,
Yeah,
When
they're
Twitter
just-
purged everybody. All the bots went away, and we lost like 12,000 followers.
Yeah, that's just what some people do. It's not super common, but some people do that.
The last time I got a bump was because William Shatner got mad that I mentioned Star Trek and Star Wars in the same tweet, and it had nothing
what
to
the
do with
fuck?
him.
Why did he get mad?
Some fan of mine tagged him and me in a joke that I posted. It was a super dad joke too. I posted a picture. I was like, you know what? I rate Star Trek Voyager 7 out of 9. And I was like, and then this guy's like, I love Star Wars, but I like Star Trek, but I also love Star Wars. Which one do you like? And he for some reason tagged Shatner in it, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, well, I've watched Star Trek since I was a kid, but I also love Star Wars too. Shatner just went, geez, like, you red shirts go after this guy and teach him the difference between science fiction and science fantasy, blah, blah, blah.
What the fuck?
He got all actory on me. It's like this guy.
So I guess he shat on your post.
Star Trek instead of Star Wars. And I was
He
like,
just took a big Shatner right on your post.
yeah, he literally shat on me. And my best reply was, well, like, it's okay. I expected an overreaction from the guy who's famous for overreacting.
He's on
But I got 300 followers out of that, so thanks, William Shatner.
There you go.
Okay,
That
I
was
need to
terrible.
start
I know,
bullying,
trust me, it was terrible.
celebrities. No,
Yeah, just bully celebrities. There you go. That'll get you fans.
trigger them.
You won't like the
I
followers
tried
you
to
get.
trigger some people by making fun of them for playing Animal Crossing instead of Doom, but nobody bit.
No bully. No bully.
I was like, well, you pansies are playing Animal Crossing.
Hey,
I'm slaying Necrocus.
Hey,
I just did a collab with Warp Zone on Doomslayer playing it.
Those tarantulas are no joke though in Animal Crossing.
They're pinchy.
God, I hate those things.
Yauko, you were
I haven't played it.
I was waiting.
You what?
It looked like you were about to say something. I felt like I cut you off.
Oh no! I was just listening.
Oh,
Oh,
chat. I had some people suggest topics earlier, and chat wants to know.
Oh yeah, nice.
What not to do when you were flirting? Like, what do you think that is bad if someone tries to do to you and they flirt with you? What would you think you would advise chat? Never do this.
Never compare them to somebody else.
Yeah.
Wait, like, do you mean? Sorry, just to clarify, do you mean like you're trying to flirt with someone?
I think like if chat was trying to flirt with you, what are things you advise them not to do?
Oh,
like
okay,
if the opposite, like if you were being flirted with,
I would laugh.
what turns you on?
Overly complimenting gets a little tiresome, and they're just gush and gush and gush and gush, and that's all they say. Yeah, you're the most beautiful.
yes, 'cause what do you say to
I'm
that?
like, okay.
Yeah, there's no
relax.
substance there. It's like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
why
you
chat
said
is
that
like,
already.
I totally don't understand when chat's like, you're so pretty. And they're like, she's ignoring me. I'm like, what am I supposed to say to this? Because it's like over and over. Otherwise, it's just a stream of thank yous. And that's so boring and like awkward. It's just
like
it doesn't
It's
work.
not, complimenting is not flirting. That's not like.
Yeah, when people think
Nice
that
gesture, but it's not flirting.
For those of you listening, it's the same thing with auditioning for stuff. It's the same thing that American Idol does. The same thing I do for voice. You have to stand out. If you post the same crap that everybody else is posting, you're not going to get noticed. Everybody's
right.
like, oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. You'd be the one that's like, you know what? Sponges are super absorbent. Just something random. I'll get attention.
I also think you're going to be more successful if you can open up a dialogue before the flirting even begins. Because if you just open up with flirtatiousness, most women, especially on social media, are gonna because
We're just gonna
you
think
have a
you want
wall.
our pussy
If
or
you can
something.
get in a dialogue on a friendlier terms, like if you're in their chat and you're making jokes and the streamer is laughing and talking back with them, and you sense that they're relaxed when they're addressing you, then maybe you can slip something in and see how they respond. If they bat it away, then like cool it. If they snatch it, I don't know, maybe that's more successful. But
I think it's annoying when people like come, like it's not gonna apply to John, but when guys like come in, when guys come in and they see you playing a game and then they think that you don't know anything, and you're like, bro, I've been playing this for so long, and try to teach you how to play. I'm like, come on, calm down.
Yeah,
like,
that's not flirting. That's another form of nagging you.
Yeah, it's backseat gaming. Yeah,
It's like the ones that are like they come in and then I have this one guy who like messaged me, and he always messaged me and he's like, I could beat you at a game because you're a girl, and I'm like, bro, wow, okay.
That's when you look at the camera and say,
30 years too
or
late,
am
boomer.
I?
See, when you guys come out flirting, it's like you in real life. The digital version of real life would be you just like rushing up to somebody going, "Hi, I love you. You're beautiful."
I know. Oh my gosh.
Like, I mean, I think everybody really said this earlier, but flirting is really overrated. Just be funny. I mean, that's what people like more. Be yourself.
Flirt with someone like that, and flirting should be subtle. Like you should not be laying it on. You got open up that dialogue.
And like lines are like really annoying. Like if somebody goes and uses like a pickup line or
like a close-ended.
I don't mind that.
That's really
You guys want to hear
annoying.
some pickup lines that are very relevant to COVID-19?
Yes, that'd actually be brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. So
Sure, let's go.
If COVID-19 doesn't take you out, can I?
I've heard that.
Oh yeah. I've heard that.
Is that hand sanitizer in your pocket, or are you just happy to be within 6 feet of me? You can't spell virus without you and I.
Us.
There's a whole bunch much if you want me to keep
Wait,
going.
can we flip the scenario? And I want to hear what you guys would, if you wanted to flirt with somebody, what would you say or do?
Oh, that's
I
a
love
good
you. You're
question.
beautiful. No.
You're gorgeous.
I
would be
usually
like, I'm
just,
Oh my
gorgeous. Look
god,
at
I
me.
love your smile.
I don't flirt openly with someone that I'm not already able to have a conversation with, though.
Yeah.
But if someone's like
Good.
super
Yeah.
attractive and you just like, let's say
I
you're on a Twitch
wouldn't.
stream, no.
No, okay.
I'm not
let's
saying
say,
you're gonna be like, oh, you're attractive, but like if
So
you
like what,
find
on
him
Twitch
attractive
or
and
in,
then
in the real world?
both. Let's just say both.
Well, because that's two different approaches.
All right, let's just say Twitch then right now. Let's just
Okay,
say
Twitch. If I saw a streamer, I thought it was really cute. I'd probably just like
You
get
just chill in
into
his
the
stream for a little bit?
conversation and see if I can't get him to respond to me. But the thing is, he wouldn't know who I am. Like he wouldn't know what I look like. He doesn't even know I'm a girl. So I'd probably just be friendly and talk about whatever it is he's streaming, comment on his actions, and then I don't know. Like I've.
Wait till you're at a
yeah.
convention and then approach him in person and use your appeal then.
And I just be like, hey, how's it going? It's nice to see you. And you just talk, and then you
Mhm.
throw a little bit of your charm and see if they react to it, if they open up or if they kind of back off. It's
Yeah,
very
I feel like it's so much
subtle.
better in person if you're gonna try and flirt with
'cause
somebody.
You can see if someone looks you right in the eyes and they smile while you're talking to them and they don't give you like one word quick answers and look for an escape, then
You can tell a
you're in
lot from body language, like just like the way their hips and feet are positioned when they're talking to you.
Yeah,
and like
if they
if
are
they're
happy to be talking to you. That's such
I
a big
noticed
one.
in like the tone of voice too. Like if someone that's been in the chat for so long, they'll be like, oh my god, like hey, and then like a new person will be like, oh, like how are you? Like shit like that.
Yeah, and I feel like on Twitch it would be like over a period of time. Like you can't just shoot your shot first time you're in there. You have to like establish rapport.
Yeah,
I actually like it when people don't know what I look like first. And
Really?
then,
Yeah, your personality.
Yeah, so they like me for my personality, and then they get to see what I look
And then
like.
they see what you look like and they're like, oh my
Have to be a catfish. You're not that cute. You can't possibly be that high.
That's like one of the reasons like I never wanted to stream with a webcam, because I feel like I'm really weird and like nervous and like socially awkward, and I'm so shy, and I feel like I can be myself when I don't have to worry about like putting on a makeup and getting ready, and I'm like really terribly scheduled. So I mean that, I don't know. I also think like if somebody would have come up to me in person and just be like, hi, I really like you, can you get nude now? I might.
Oh my god.
Can you get nude now? Whoa.
Yeah, that
jumped.
I thought you would never ask. Serotonin. I thought you never asked me. Exactly.
It's like, what do they
Wait, what
expect?
kind of, are you at the strip club?
Oh no, you're just at the grocery store. In 2021, still wearing masks.
They just
Did
walk
I
up
tell
to
you
you
guys
in the
the crazy
aisle like,
story?
hello, where can I find your nudes? They just walk up to you.
People ask me that in my chat. They say, because I don't have lewd content and I
Right.
don't advertise that I do, but they straight up before a hello, before a
Exclamation point, OnlyFans.
Oh, if they do that, I have a trap set in my chat. If they do exclamation point OnlyFans, my bot, which is
We'll
called
time
Boris
them
the
out.
Bouncer, will it's like a roll. He grabs it by the collar and throws him out of the club, and then it kicks them from the channel. Like they get banned, and then
Oh my God,
voice,
that's-
the voice of Duke Nukem says, "Get that crap out of here." Like
That's amazing.
yeah, it's great.
So I think that's really cool and like a really cool way to go about banning people or like getting
Timing
rid
them
of
out.
those people. It sucks that they do that first thing before even saying hi, like how are you, getting to know you, and before they ask for that. But also like the only caveat to that could be that you're eliminating potential support. But I guess it could be support from people you don't want support from anyway.
Yeah, it's if that's what they're asking me at first, they basically told me that they want to see me naked. And if a stranger came up
Yeah.
to me at the gym and said, "Can I have your nudes? I'll pay," it would make me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
'cause
if I was
only-
standing out there like, "Hey, I sell this kind of content. Who's interested?" That'd be a different dynamic. But if
Right.
that's what they're interested in, it makes me very uncomfortable. It makes my chat uncomfortable. And it's
Yeah.
like if you wanted, like, you could have just looked through my information and saw that that's not available and moved on with your
Yeah,
life.
instead of assuming that, oh, you're online, you must do this by default.
Yeah, I think it's like, and I
Mhm.
100% support women who
Do
have that as their gig. Like a lot of my friends do that, and it's awesome, and I think it's empowering. Because I chose music as my career, I've
that
always been very
bag.
careful about that because I'm not sure if I decided to go one way, would that bleed into the other and damage any potential
Right. When you
like,
have
so
like
I've
real
like
life.
it's not off the table,
yeah.
but I'm careful about it. But for that assumption, it's almost like they're telling me that I look like a loose woman and I want to see more. I don't know. There's just something kind of insulting about it. Like, could you have at least like hung out for a few minutes and
then ask,
like, seen what
Yeah.
we're about instead of making that weird assumption?
See, I don't think
But
they
I-
look at it as that. I agree with you though, but I think they look at it more as like, damn, you're hot. I would love to see you. Like they're thinking they're complimenting you, really. That
Yeah,
like,
but
it's creepy to
They're-
us.
It is creepy, and I
There's
tell
not
them,
much
would you...
going on there, up there for them.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
they think that this interaction, like they
Oh,
they
it's
forget,
up, just not there.
You can't. You wouldn't say that to someone in person because you would get slapped.
Yes.
So why
Yeah.
is this any different? And then
Exactly.
they say, well, you're dressed a certain way. And
Because
then,
they're
like,
the keyboard warrior.
Wait, whoa. I live in Arizona. People walk outside with shorts and a bikini top. That doesn't mean you have the right to
Yeah.
Exactly.
sexually solicit them without them knowing who the fuck you are.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
want to be clear though that people have Patreon and OnlyFans not for lewd stuff
Oh,
also.
I agree. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
that, and I've considered doing that for artistic things, but it is a pretty good assumption that if someone comes into my chat immediately without seeing anything, asking any questions, and ask for OnlyFans, 99% of the time they're looking for lewds or nudes because.
Why is
I
it called a lewd and not
a lewd? I think what is that?
what
Like
is that?
not nude is like fully
it's,
naked.
it's not nude.
Right. It's like lingerie. I used to call it was called boudoir. Like back before I was on Twitch, I filmed and I photographed a lot of women, and it would be like boudoir. So they'd be in like lingerie, with a cool background, and they're like, oh,
That's the
now they just
proper term
want-
for it. That's too fancy though for 12-year-olds to spell. So
So yeah, lewd boudoir. Yeah.
I think also the way that you handle that is a really good way of how you curate your audience, like what we were saying earlier as well. Like it's just the kind of people that you want to be around you in your chat. Do you want people who are like thirsting to just see you as a thing, or do you want people who actually want to
Respect you.
hang out, respect you? Oh my goodness,
That's a big word.
What is respect? Wait, can you explain that to me? This concept.
No.
Read.
Not spell it.
It's like you actually don't know either. Oh.
Okay,
pity.
I have to be honest. That Pantera song, Respect Walk, Vulgar Walking? I thought he was saying breathe, sweat, walk, but I just found out that it was respect.
Oh, so I want to hear if Miyako has any Japanese dating stories. Because what is it like over
Japanese
there?
dating
I'm so
story.
uncultured. What is it like to
Me
date
too.
in Japan? Tell us.
It's I think it's super different, but the first if you like someone, you have to confess your feeling first before doing anything like kissing or like stuff. But before do anything, you have to confess like, oh, I like you. Would you be my girlfriend or would you be my boyfriend? And then if they say yes, then you can start to do anything like holding hands
Hooking
or
up.
I
go
think
on a
that's
date.
pretty true here too.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think you can start kissing someone
no,
without
some
telling if you
people be
like
in a
them.
relationship
Right.
really fast.
Thought like in
I think
the-
here maybe hookup culture is more of a thing, whereas like there it's more of like you're in a relationship.
Aw, I prefer that.
I prefer it too, but I mean here
Yeah, it's-
hookup
okay, I
culture has
understand,
been
I understand.
popularized, like dating apps. and
Less
stuff.
sex is probably not as casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more formal in Japan from what
Yeah,
I
it's like-
understand.
yeah, really formal. Like I think in how can I say it? In out of Japan, that for me it's abroad. Like they get to know each other and they start to do like going out and then like, oh, we are dating now. I think this is how it goes. I think, but in Japan it's like nothing. Like just meet someone. Oh, I like her, and they just go talk to her. They're like, oh, I really like you. Would you be my girlfriend? They're like, if she said, yes, then you can start to go dating. But if she said, oh, I'm sorry, then like can't really do anything. So
before getting to know them, they ask to be their girlfriend first?
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Then you start to get to know each other.
Okay, so
So-
a girlfriend there isn't like the serious stuff. That's more of like the casual dating phase.
Yes, it's like
first-
casual,
Like you're
very
entering a
casual. Yeah.
courtship.
So that's why they break up really really quick. They start to dating and they break up like 2 days later because they don't know each other and they start to dating.
Okay.
Because
Do they
the-
care how y'all
basically,
look? Or you guys
Girlfriend and
just don't?
boyfriend is like permission to go on a date.
yeah, it's like a permission.
What about like looks? Like, do you care about what they look like, or you just like if they want to date you, they just date
I
you.
think they just care about looks. I think in Japan, yeah.
They do or they don't? They do?
They do.
Oh,
yeah.
they do? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because they
do.
don't know you
Yeah,
yet. They're
still.
asking
it's
you
a lot
to
more
go out.
proper and formal.
Yeah.
As opposed
It
to our like whimsical
breaks
dating,
my
I guess.
heart when I'm on these podcasts and younger girls say how they've never been on a real date before, but they've had intimacies with men, and I'm like, make them date you. Make them take you
Yeah,
out. What
that's
is
my
wrong?
rules. We have to be in a relationship before I do anything with you.
Yeah. And make like go out on a date. Like it's nice.
So since we're on this topic about dating, can we talk about like that one topic of long distance, if you think it's gonna work or not?
Oh.
It's
it can
hard.
work if you
Oh,
have an
that
end
totally
goal.
works.
If you have an end goal to be together, I think it can work.
Yeah,
But
you
it
have
is
to have
hard.
similar life goals, or else you're never gonna get on the same path.
Yeah.
know?
You have
Do you
to
want
have like,
marriage?
same
Do
goal.
you want kids? Where do you
Yeah.
want to live? You know, like you have to figure that out first chapter in before you waste any time with a long distance dating thing.
That's true too.
And I think you both have to want it. Like, both have to be committed to like making time for
Actually
each other and not
travel to each
being
other, hang out with them.
sleaze, not being a cheater. You know.
That's another thing, like trust issues and all that too, though. Like, how do you know that they're not like flirting with people? You just gotta trust
I
them.
feel like you
have to know
can't
them
even think
first.
about that. You just have to realize
Just
you
go
guys
with the flow.
have long-term goals to be with each other.
Get to
The
know
guy
their
I'm with
past,
right
too.
now, he lived in a different state, and we had a long-distance relationship, and for like a while before he moved here. And my relationship before, he was in another country. He was in Europe, and that was very hard. But we just had to go with.
Has
the
anyone
flow.
else had like a long distance, like mostly online relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us
I
about
had
that. How did that go?
I had a 3-year relationship. It was great. Like we got
You guys
along
not
super
meeting
well.
at all?
Yeah, we did meet up. I would go up and visit, and he'd come down and visit. It was a very, very successful relationship. The only reason that it ended was that we were young, and I didn't feel that we had developed as like ourselves and like gotten careers, and so we kind of plateaued where we could like take the relationship. So I like just talked to him and was like, look, we're not being able to progress and like move in together. So like we can't go anywhere with this, and that's how that ended. But it was like honestly probably my best relationship that I've had.
Yeah, I'd say some of my best favorite relationships were long distance.
And do you think that maybe they're the best because you don't see each other as much? You never get tired of each other. It's always like exciting whenever you.
And we always we played. I mean, that's how we met through like World of Warcraft and League of Legends, and so we always like played games together. So we were always like hanging out. Technically, to me,
But you miss each other because the lack of physicalness. There is. I think it could be a little misleading, the desire you have for the other, because you can't enact
Right,
upon it.
because I feel like it's only when you guys are like close together do you start having like problems and fighting about daily type stuff. Because I feel like if you're like never really together, when you are together, it's like so precious. You want to only focus on enjoying it rather than like addressing issues.
Yeah, I
or
do think
creating issues
relationships
at all.
last longer when they're long distance, because maybe it should have ended sooner, but you just never found those red flags.
Yeah.
soon enough.
I mean, for me, like, I actually met my girlfriend, who's actually my best friend now. We met ages ago online in like 2005 on Final Fantasy. And I've had like, before we met, we were friends, and then we got together. We were together for like literally like 4 or 5 years long distance, because she was in another country. She was back in my home country and I was here in the States. And she eventually like came out. We finally like moved in together, and then we realized like it was still really awesome, but it wasn't quite there, like what we thought it was going to be. So we became friends, and also I met one of my other best friends that way, and like we still live together. We do everything together. We're like inseparable. But like I pretty much most relationships that I've had in my life, I've actually met online. It's weird, but I think that before you meet someone in person, if you have a lot of time to spend together online to get to know each other, and you can be vulnerable with each other, it kind of takes away that pretext that you get in person, where you have to like put on some sort of a facade or an act.
Yeah.
So it kind of can help, but it can also be detrimental if you're not open with your communication. But I think that goes the same way in any type of relationship. If you don't communicate, things aren't always going to work out, and that's the
Right.
same with anything.
Well said.
Tell us about yours, Miauko. What was yours like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in long distance relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in a long distance relationship, and it worked, and but it was so difficult. Like I think my advice. I think that you guys said already, but I think it's important to have a same goal and to know when you're gonna meet like
Hang out.
partner.
Yeah.
In the future, it's really important, I think. And yeah, it was.
Because there's some people that date and they don't even meet
Yeah.
up. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I would only do it like with the goal, you know, to be together.
to be together forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe when I was younger, I would have not cared because it was just, you know, killing time while I do my stuff. But now it's like kind of reaching that point where every partner counts.
Yeah. I feel that for sure.
I met my current boyfriend through online, and we were talking for a long time online only, and he actually didn't have a webcam or anything. I just like had a picture of him, so like, you know, of course at first I was afraid I was being catfished. But yeah, we talked like almost like, I think we talked like every single day for a few months, and then I was like, let's meet up. And you know, thankfully we lived kind of close to each other, and we met up, and then you know, the rest is history. We've been together for 13 years.
13
It's crazy.
years. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
The funny part is we met through him watching my YouTube videos and kind of like, you know, connecting with me that way. And then you know, he was like he wasn't immediately like we were talking about earlier, he wasn't immediately like flirting with me or like being like, you know, like shove, you know.
He was your friend first.
Right, yeah. And he was
that works every time. Not every time, but it works.
It works more often than not.
Most of it,
Yeah.
And yeah, we would like it was kind of funny. We would get on like a voice chat and kind of like mess with people, because that was back in the days of, I don't know if anyone here remembers Ventrilo,
Yes.
but like voice pings and stuff, and like we would just like fuck with people and, and make them be like, what's going on with the voice chat, and like we'd be like hee 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 hee, and like yeah.
Couldn't you like send a text, like the robot voice, like specifically to one person, and only they could hear it, and you can just like write shit in their head, and they'd be like, what is that? Who's talking?
On like another channel too.
Yep. I think the guy I'm with right now, we met in World of Warcraft, and we had Ventrilo, so we would do that to his guild all the time.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I never got into that at all. I remember RuneScape house parties, but that's as far as my social gaming thing goes. I did on stream. I played Classic's the first time I played it.
Really?
Yeah, because my parents couldn't afford it when I was younger, and I didn't have like my own job, and I was at the point where I could just play video games all day.
Oh.
So I
Stay away
played
from
RuneScape.
it. It is an addiction.
I played
it for 15 years, and I finally don't like it anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of garbage.
It's kind of evolved to a point that I'm just not like. I used to love it.
It became garbage after Lich King.
Yes, but I still like. I enjoyed playing WoD. Legion was but this last one was like the final straw. I was like, this company is dead to me. This is nothing. I'm playing a 15-year-old game without any of the fulfillment that I used to have. And I didn't play Classic because I was like, I already did all this because I was in a raiding guild from day one. And I was like, I don't want to do this again. I already did it. And there was a drama, the fucking hate and drama and friendships that fell apart over Bindings of the Windseeker. I swear to God.
Oh, God.
Sounds like WoW.
Yeah. People fighting over nodes, iron nodes. They're like, well, I was here first. Well, the guild.
Or the drops. Yeah, dude.
When Lich King came out, did you ever play like Death Knight and just murder everyone?
I love my Death Knight. Oh, yeah.
It's so much fun. I would just sit like an outpost and wait for people to fly in and then just smash them.
Dude, a Death Knight with a Shadowmourne was like unkillable.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
I started as a rogue in vanilla, and I was kind of a bastard because I'd get bored off like non-raiding days, and since I was a raider, I had all the gear that other people didn't have, so I would just go to a horde spot and just hide and then start killing their NPCs.
Oh, yeah.
So they would go and get their mains, and then it would just be like me and my buddy versus like the whole town. And because we're rogues, we can like vanish and shit. And it was just like this big fun game of cat and mouse. And yeah, those days were fun. But now it's just
yeah, like back when I first started playing, that was when like Warglaive of Azeroth was a big thing, and it was like this legendary weapon that would drop from Illidan in like Black Temple.
I
And
still
was
can't get it to drop for my alt.
Oh my god, I actually got my first account banned because I stole the Warglades of Azeroth from someone, and he got really mad at me, even though we were gonna roll on it. But he was my guild master. I ninja looted supposedly, but I thought we were both gonna roll. He's like, no, we weren't gonna roll, and you're
naughty.
roll. And so, yeah, I ended up getting my first account banned, and I'm like, that sucks. But I went back for Burning Crusade, and I loved that. Blood Elves, my favorite.
Yeah.
Ooh, chat wants to know, I'm pulling questions that I asked them earlier. Do women have the same urges as men? I assume they mean...
Like sexual?
I assume they mean sexually.
I think it's different.
Snacking?
I think we have urges, but I think it's at a different level.
I think we
do.
have
I really
urges,
do.
we can just hide it.
Yeah, we can hide it a lot better.
Yeah, but like guys, when they're aroused to a point, they're in physical pain if they don't get a release.
That's true.
And they also
Blue
just
balls.
testosterone alone is a stronger drive sexually than and we like women. We have testosterone too, just like men
Just
have
not a lot.
estrogen.
Yeah.
Not a lot. And testosterone, it does drive this, and that's why men tend to make dumber decisions when they're horny than women do, and that's why we are a little bit better at like showing restraint than men are. It's just the testosterone. I think we have urges, and I think we're sexual creatures, but we also crave like the intimacy and the pleasure.
Yeah,
and
we
foreplay
crave
and the
different parts of
romance.
it.
We have that, like we do, but like raw sex, I think men have it a little bit more overpowering.
Yeah, like the actual, like I have to stick the penis in. Like I think
Yeah,
that's
like
what they have.
Come on, just
It's
look
very
at how much
caveman,
money
you know, it's very
female
primal.
strippers
Or
make
like
compared
little
to male
kids like put in the
strippers.
block and
I think for women, it's more
This
about
goes
like the leading up
here.
to it and the emotions put into it, and do we feel like protected and loved and
Yeah,
cared for?
we have emotional desires. And
I mean, not all women. I met this really
Ah,
creepy lady
welcome
that
back.
had like a huge level of testosterone. I think she was like,
well, that's
horrible.
probably why. If she was
Yeah,
horny,
yeah.
she probably had.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
we all
it
have
was
different
bad.
levels.
Exactly, yeah, and I think most men do have testosterone issues, and it's really never talked about. And I think sometimes that can drive that really obsessive.
What kind of issues do I have? What do I do?
behavior.
We're talking about
primal
urges.
man
We're talking about, do women have the same urges as men sexually?
The urge to eat food and sit on the couch and watch television.
That's nice.
I know-
Exactly.
I know someone whose husband was in an accident and he hurt his back, car accident, and he hurt his back. It damaged his testosterone production and his sex drive. Just and he didn't want to have sex with her like for a long time. She had to force him to take his testosterone pills on pain of divorce. She's like,
Damn.
"Fuck me, I'm your wife." He's like, "I just don't feel it." But I do think that men are a little bit more like if it just by observing how much money men will spend at strip clubs for pictures and all of that compared to what women are willing to spend in general.
Oh yeah.
I kind of wonder though if also like women just like maybe they don't have the same urges because from a young age it's more instilled like a shameful thing to have sexual desires as well, so they never develop it. They never learn communication because it's a shameful thing, and they never teach a guy how to actually please them because they're so ashamed. Some of them don't even know their first time how to please themselves. Where it's like just as a society, at least in America, it's like so much like because I grew up like
glad
in
I came
South
in right
Baptist
now.
area.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it comes down to nature versus nurture, and maybe it's a combination because, like, you're right. Socially, women have had to protect their virtue historically, but that maybe that whole practice came about because of our biology. It takes a lot more energy for a woman to produce an egg and gestate and raise a child, so she has to be very picky and careful who she allows to mate with her. Men can, it takes no energy. They can just blast their seed all over the place and it costs them nothing. So just if you look at us as organisms, the mating strategy is men get as much as you can and women pick one. You have a limited amount, so pick the best one that you can get. And so we have that more like, that's why I think again we're more emotionally like if a guy can give us what we need, beyond the sex.
I was brought up with 3 brothers, so like I wasn't like as taught any of this, so I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like I find like a guy that I like, and I do get in relationships. I have to be in a relationship with somebody, but I when I hear like women talk about like this kind of topic, I'm like, why are they so scared of it? Like, or they feel ashamed about it.
It's the way they're raised. It's the slut shaming.
And I wasn't
families.
raised like that because I was raised with 3 brothers. I mean, they do like protect me and everything, but like my dad, like how he raised me was like, you know, you're smart, you're gonna make the right decision, and you need to make mistakes, so live your life.
So, but Foxmas, I have a question. Have you
Yeah.
ever? So you're pretty sexually free, and you feel no shame, and so you're open with
I
it.
mean, like I'm open with like people once
Right,
I
right.
get into an intimate
But
relationship with
have you ever made a terrible decision because you were just so fucking horny you couldn't help it? Like spend money or do something because I just have to have sex right now. Oh my gosh, please have sex. Yes, I will buy that. Please just have sex with me.
I mean, that wouldn't really apply to me because, like I said, like I have to be in a relationship with somebody in order to take that next
It's
step.
more of emotional too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But-
I guess I'm looking at this from the angle that men can and do sometimes make decisions based on their level of arousal.
Mhm.
And
gotta realize that-
I don't think women do that as much. Maybe there are, like what Kim said, she knew a girl who had a
Cougars.
lot of testosterone.
You also gotta realize though that some girl, or like for any girl, it's just easier for them to get like to fuck somebody. Like, you know, like a guy,
Yeah.
like you said, they have to pay for sex. But girls, like if you were to just ask a guy, be like, hey, like you want to
Dick is free.
For most
pussy's
part,
expensive.
they're gonna say yes. You know what I'm saying? Like for guys, they have to like go out of their way and be like, oh, I'll pay you.
That's also why you don't see as many homeless women.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that out.
Yep.
What do you mean by that? By the homeless part? Like I'm confused.
Like
because
girl could
women
turn to selling sexuality.
Oh, I
she's
see.
empowered.
You could like always become a stripper, or
Yeah,
you know,
that's
go
true.
home with someone, you know, and
It's
not
easier
be
to make money
homeless
for a
anymore,
girl, yeah, like
or
that
something like
aspect,
that.
I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like it's easier for women to ask for help from people in general.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
now maybe John can enlighten us? Do you feel the urge to protect, especially your wife or daughter, or even a woman you don't know very well? Do you have a protective nature?
Yeah.
Like it's instinctive to want to help or assist or oblige a
Pretty
female.
much always. I was also raised conservatively. I've been a Christian since I was 18, day before I turned 18. But even before that, like very conservative standards. I waited till I got married. I've only ever been with my wife before, and I kind of automatically just kind of have the Peter tingle when it comes to people being taken advantage of, or I can like, you need to avoid that person or stay away. Or I just kind of like make my way around and try to protect people that I'm friends with. If they're not, most of it, they're like what she said. If they're smart, you know, I don't have to worry about them because they know what they can tell. They can tell a player. They can tell, you know, somebody that's just being scum. But some of them are just like, oh, rainbows and kittens, and it's like, okay, I'll just be your bodyguard for the day.
Like I think it's natural for a man to feel protective of females. It's like, again, it's like in the DNA. It's how we evolved.
Yeah, I mean, I think that both like male and female sex drives vary so much, and there's this big spectrum. And what's interesting to me is that testosterone really is stimulatory with images, and then I think estrogen is more related to sensations. So I think that's why a lot of women are less enthused about having casual hookups and casual dating. And everybody knows that there's stigmas, and also it's most generally harder for a woman to achieve orgasm than men, and there's so much shame associated with teaching somebody how to like please you that you feel like you have to stay quiet and not communicate like it's rude, when it's actually the nicest thing you can do for yourself.
It is
and your
hard to
partner.
do sometimes.
Yeah.
To correct someone because you don't want to discourage them, or
Right.
make them feel bad. And then you feel like frustrated because you're like, I know it's hard for this to happen, and I'm trying, and it's my fault because I have a weird
because
vagina.
growing up in like the church,
From a guy's
like,
standpoint, we are totally receptive to guidance. Just
oh yeah,
tell us
y'all
what-
are, but
what-
it's a
just-
psychological thing for girls.
Just GPS us to the right location and we're good. Just,
Yeah, like
What sucks too
Yeah.
is what works one night
Like,
does not work the next
at the next
night.
leg,
Exactly.
turn right.
State of mind.
Like women, like psychologically, like for a while before I was more comfortable, I would feel so bad. Like, but then I've realized after I've been with a couple more people that as long as you're open and people actually are really receptive to that. Like, I wouldn't be bothered if somebody said, hey, this isn't working for me, can we try this? So I think it's kind of like a thing with how we are to ourselves and being kinder with yourself and being more open with yourself, and sometimes that can be really hard.
That's another thing too, is that a lot of women aren't open with themselves, especially if they come from a shameful background. So it's like they don't even know how to please themselves. How can they tell you how to please them?
Yeah, true.
I gotta assume there's also always the fear that the person you're with is deep down like some freaking psycho.
Well, I don't like. I think we
Choke me and call me grandma.
I wouldn't sleep with someone unless I was already in a relationship with them. For that reason,
Right.
I'm afraid of being with someone who might actually turn around and hurt me. So I always
Exactly. You
kind
never
of
know what
wait.
Christian Gray's deal is.
Yeah, and a lot of things too, like growing up in the church, is like some boys that like the more that they're sex deprived because of the church, the more actually creepy and aggressive they become.
Oh my god!
And
Usually
like
the worst people.
after church was like when I was done going to church, it came back like a few years on my Facebook Messenger and like we're entitled to go out with me. Like, I really liked you back in church, and I'd be like, I'm not at that point in my life right now. I'm looking for relationships. And like, why? What did I do? Is it something I did? Why aren't you dating? Like, they're like angry about it. It's like. I was like very polite.
Which denomination did you belong to?
Baptist.
Please respond.
Baptist?
Question mark, question mark.
I was raised Mormon, so very, very strict.
I love your musical.
Oh, I haven't even seen it, but I heard it's awesome.
It's great.
I haven't seen it.
I love the stereotypes. There's
Apparently
because I
there's a
haven't
book.
been to church in like 2 decades, but all my family still goes, so I know the culture and I'm like comfortable with it. But I
Well,
also know what
nobody's
they look
going
like
right
to
now.
outside. Yeah. Good thing they
Nobody's
invested
going
in all
nowhere
those
right now.
cameras from all those conferences in the past.
Oh my gosh. I think another question chat asked is what were your reasons for breakups? Did you ever have like a crazy reason for a breakup or like a really bad breakup in the past?
My girlfriend had all my name of our kids picked out and where we were gonna live. And
Oh my
it was gonna be
gosh.
next to her parents, and I'm
crazy.
like, whoa,
Jeez.
I'm
Next to her
18.
parents? Ooh.
When you guys have your story, I have a funny one, but I'm gonna wait for you guys.
That was
Oh,
all my
yeah.
story. It was
I want
just,
to hear that.
after like we'd been dating for a while, and like third or fourth date, because it was long distance, so we didn't get to date very often. But we were together for a long time. But like between the third and fifth date, she was like, "Oh, I know how many kids we're gonna have. I know what their names are. There's a house for sale right next to my parents." And I'm just like, "Okay, well, it was nice dating you."
Or like, peace.
I'm
was,
still
like,
a
waiting for
teenager.
the
I'm not ready
guy.
for this at all.
I like waiting for the guy to bring up stuff like that. Like I'm pretty tight-lipped on my marital and children desires with someone
Mhm.
until they start bringing
I'm
it
the
up.
same
so
way.
it shows me. Yeah, because I want to know the guy's like actually into me, not just in it for the
No pressure.
Yeah, because when a girl expresses something she desires and it's like a new dating relationship, it's so much more common for guys to just like meld into what she wants or agree with her rather than actually have an opinion.
Oh, but that's why I like being friends with someone before I date them. Like all of my best relationships, I was like good platonic friends first, and I developed like a crush internally.
Aw,
and
that's
then
the
it
best.
came forward, and it's the best because you already know you like them and who they are as a person. But that's also why I
Yes.
like dating older people. I say older, like 30 plus.
Hey,
because
how you doing there?
I'm like
you
a
got
cougar
some
over here.
jam to go with that jelly?
Because I like it when the guy's already who he is, I
Please
don't...
respond to my comment.
I sent you
is
my
this
dick. Why
keyboard
you
on?
not respond?
What was your story though?
They call me Gray Bush.
Okay, my story. A boy from my church
Oh,
asked me
here we
out,
go.
and he was attractive. He was like really muscular. He kind of looked like Vin Diesel a little bit, which is totally my type.
wait.
Gym guy.
Around
Very-
what age were you guys?
21.
Okay.
Lives
So
her life
I was
one
pretty.
quarter
I
mile at a
wasn't
time.
like completely new to the dating scene, but I was still kind of just And I found out pretty quickly that he was a bit of a man baby. And he
Ooh.
would say things his way of
Yikers.
flirting. He would scrunch his face up. And he was so attractive until he scrunched his face up. He goes, "I'm a baby. Take care of me, mommy."
Oh,
And I was
God.
Like, oh my god. I was like, what the fuck? You're joking. And at first I laughed because I thought he was joking. But then it happened a lot. And then, yeah. So we
Probably
go
had a fetish.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he does because he ended up dating an older woman later, in life, like a much older woman. So we went. It's pretty popular, especially at that age group, and the churchy people like to go country dancing, swing dancing. So I'd never done it before. I was like, hey, it'd be a fun date to do. So we go, and people are, like the swing dancing. And there's like teachers there to show you how to do it. And I'm always into learning new things. And so I'm, open-minded and trying to like figure it out. And he didn't it wasn't cool enough for him. So he was just kind of like sulking in the corner.
Ew.
And I was like, yo, let's go over here. And he's like, this is lame. And I was like, no, let's go. Come on, let's. And he's like, no, this is, and he started stomping his feet. He's like, I want to go.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not even exaggerating.
That's so
I'm talking
annoying.
a freaking 26-year-old
unattractive thing
he was a couple years older. He was like 26.
This feels like an episode of Kai.
Oh my God.
I about had it, and I'm
Kai.
very, very nice. I never raised my voice.
I don't want to line dance, Mom.
I said, come here. I just got I went from being like this, and I just went stone cold face. I was like, come here. And he's like, I say, come with me. Took him. I said, get in the car. He got in the car. I silently drove him to his apartment. I said, and then I drove up to his apartment complex. I reached over him, opened up the door, pushed it. I said, get the fuck out of my car. And he walked out. He turned around to say something. I slammed it. I drove. I never spoke to him again.
Good. That guy probably had like a mommy.
Oh, I went back to the country
there's
dancing
definitely
place.
a mommy fetish thing.
I went back to the country dancing place and I learned how to country dance.
He
There
left
you
the car
go.
like this.
Yeah, I later saw him. He started dating a woman at least 15 years older than him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this isn't an ex of mine, but one of my friends who wanted to date me, and I was hard no. He had a baby fetish, a baby diaper fetish, he was the baby. He wanted to wear a diaper in a baby onesie style for adult sizes and crawl in a crib and be fed a bottle and shit. And I'm like,
Do you want to get changed?
yeah, he wanted me to he told me about this, would you consider doing that for me? I'm like, I'm not even dating you. No.
Yeah, right? Jeez.
Yikes.
Let's crawl before we can run, shall we?
If he was 80, I'd be like, that's kind of normal.
No, he was my age. This is high school, freshman college age.
I got some prunes in the fridge.
I need my sponge bath. He wanted me to change his diaper and stuff, and feed him baby food with a spoon. I'm like, no. It's disgusting.
Have you guys ever dated anyone or been with anyone who was can you step on me, but not in an ironic way?
No.
When I was cocktail waitressing, one of my patrons asked me if I'd stomp on his balls, and I just was like,
"Oh,
what pleasure you get from that?"
Dude definitely doesn't have balls if he wants somebody
I
to step
know.
on him, 'cause he does
I
not
got
even
a
know.
little phantom pain, and I don't even have balls. I was like, oh.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, my insides hurt.
The power of empathy.
Oh.
Yeah, I broke up with a guy because this was in high school. On our first hangout, I went over to his house and he's like, "Yeah, come to my room." And he's like, "Oh, I want to show you something." And
The red flag's going off at this point.
and I knew he was kind of a weird dude. He would do these really crazy, creepy drawings and stuff. And then he's like, "Yeah, I want you to meet someone." And he opens up his closet. There's a half torso mannequin woman in there.
What?
He had named it. And he's like, "Yeah, meet." I don't remember what he named it, but he's like, "Meet my mannequin girl." And I was like,
I would be running out the door.
Wait, so
screaming
half
for the
torso.
police.
So it's not even a sex doll. It doesn't even have
it
a
was,
vagina.
It
It's
was
just,
something he had probably got from a thrift store or something
the fuck? What does he do with it?
And I was like,
he dresses it up.
That's so scary. He probably enacts his torture fantasies on it.
I know. I was like,
Grandpa was into mannequins too, but I never knew if it was a sexual thing. He just had a collection of 5 different girls of different ages of mannequins up in the room above his garage.
Dolls.
Yeah, it was a family of girls. It was a 30-year-old MILF type of mannequin, and then there was maybe a 21-year-old mannequin, and then there was a 17-year-old mannequin, and then there's a 9-year-old mannequin.
Oh, okay, that's where I draw.
We would buy clothes for them in the
little
thrift
fake
store.
people lying around.
And I never understood what they were for. I think he was literally
they
like
naked?
modeled.
That's good.
I think he was a big kid who didn't know that it was like a creepy thing because he also would collect lots of like toys, like not sex toys, but like I don't know.
They're
He would
action
collect,
figures.
like cars and trains, like
They're
model
minerals,
cars
Murray.
and trains and airplanes and stuff. And I'm like, maybe he just thought they were like big, like Barbie dolls. Maybe he
Yeah,
thought
like
of
my
He
size
couldn't
Barbie.
afford the accessories. You're judging.
I don't know. Yeah, he
Don't
would dress
kink
them
shame.
up. He never left them naked. They would always have outfits.
Just like my kids with their Barbie
Did he
dolls.
change the outfits?
Not really. They
Even
only
Barbie
ever had like
dolls.
one outfit for them forever.
How was he display? Were they like decorations in the house, or did he have them and he moved them around? And
He
tossed
at first when I was they had like
Oh,
a
that'd be
house
so
when I was
creepy.
younger and they were just like sitting in the living room.
Ew.
And then like later on when they moved houses, he put them in the room over the garage. Like which he kept for like guests. It was like
It's
a
like,
guest
hey, can you
room.
go out in the garage
Was
and
he
get-
alone, or was your grandmother still around?
She was in the picture, but they slept in different beds.
Because
So
I
I
was
don't-
wondering, maybe he
wonder
was just
why.
lonely and liked the feeling of
Right?
people in the house.
I'm like, I'm not sure. He was an interesting man.
See, I'm so not like you. I would have messed with my friends so hard.
Oh yeah, it's like Elf on the Shelf, but it's like
I would have had a
mannequin and the
VHS
pannequin.
tape in the TV when they walk in the room with the mannequins. It goes.
So I didn't have friends come over.
Yes. Oh my
Because
god.
they had their own
Maybe
house.
Jigsaw.
I never
I
had
got like
friends
a
there.
really scary story from like the Welsh countryside where one of my friends' ex's best friend, and I know it sounds silly when I say that, but it's true. She had a boyfriend that was like a necro, but she didn't know about it. So this one day they go for this hike and they're out and he tries to push her off a pier like into the rocks at this
Oh
beach
my
and she barely survived. She got injured. He gets arrested. So the police go to his house and they find out that his room was filled with pictures of like dead women, lots of it movie stills and stuff from like film.
Ugh.
But like, I mean, I don't know. Like people are just crazy, and like the worst part is she had been with him for like 2 years. Yes.
Wait, this was her boyfriend of 2 years trying to murder
Yes. Yeah, and like she had no idea that he had
Never
this
went
like
over?
little room. I don't know because it was
She
just
didn't know about the room with the dead girls.
This
in
is
it?
why Wales is like insane and like you don't like this is why I moved because it's like this really small town where I'm from which is called like Powys, Wales, and like everybody knows everybody and they know like everybody's business and everybody knew he was a little bit weird and he'd be like, yeah, my mum's home and like you can't come over, we'll go meet at your place and all this stuff, and so it was really routine for them to
Yeah, my mom's home. I have to try to kill her next. Like,
yeah, I guess
That's
you know.
so scary.
it's terrifying, but I mean she's okay.
Mother's in here with us.
That's good.
She pushed her off. Like
I can't
that-
believe
It's a
that.
wonderful day for an exorcism.
the idea of someone that I'm in love with, that I have a life with, trying to cause harm to me is so freaking fucked up. I
Oh,
can't
that's
do it.
traumatizing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that sounds awful.
I think the
'Cause
worst.
you're
case
supposed,
scenario
you're a
would
man. You're supposed to trust him to protect you.
I think a worst case scenario though would be somebody who is like just all that laid dormant for a really long time for like decades, and you like
And then
super trusted them. All of a sudden they flip. the
And then out of
switch.
nowhere.
That's
yeah.
what she's saying. She dated him for 2 years,
Yeah,
and then he
2
pushed
years.
her off
Like,
a
how do you-
pier.
Yeah,
like I
that's
don't
what
know
like,
if this was like
the long game.
casual or something. Like I'm hoping so because I'm thinking like if you're spending a really long time with somebody, you're gonna know them for and so
Right,
it just
years,
it's insane to me.
jeez.
I just
Some people are really good at hiding though stuff.
yeah.
Should
That's
give
what
this-
you have to
Sociopaths.
Sociopaths.
Yeah.
There's
Give
a whole
Dexter-
Shane Dawson series about that.
give Dexter his information. He'll take care.
Yeah,
of it.
really.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yikes.
I don't.
Oh, no, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee.
I had no
It's
idea. what
time
was
to
getting
like chug a bottle
angry
of
to this.
water.
Let's think of a nice.
How about
topic
some
real
vodka?
quick.
What
Okay,
about
that
you,
works.
Bindo? You have any
I'm a
breakup
whiskey girl.
stories?
It's smooth.
Yeah, whiskey.
Do you have any?
whiskey
Do you have
Coke.
any what?
Breakup stories or weird fetish stories? We talk about both.
I feel
Well,
like
I
those are
mentioned the
literally the two
stepping
things we just
thing.
talked
My
Mhm.
breakup was pretty brutal.
Not a fan.
Okay, so well, I dated this girl. She's really beautiful. She's a nurse right now in the front lines, and she has a really weird fetish. Well, I mean, to each their own, but she's really, really, really high into humiliation.
Oh,
As in, she likes herself to be humiliated and likes to like humiliate others, and like to the extreme amount.
Kiss on your face.
That type, yeah. And I mean, it's I just it's fine, but she's really, really into it. And so like the thing is that she tells everyone. So to me, it's like if you
Oh.
have a fetish, maybe you don't like open a conversation with, "Hi, nice to meet you. This is my fetish." But that's what she does, and she gets away with
Hi,
it.
my name is John.
She's
I'd
like the
to-
vegan of
Okay.
fetishism.
Yeah. So she like puts it out there super quick because she's like, "Hey, I'm into this. would you maybe be into this too?
Yeah, I think it's actually because she's like, you know what? I'm afraid people are gonna like say it, or somebody's gonna say something, so I'm just gonna be upfront about it and like just use it as like armor and be like, here you go, this is me, and if you don't like it, then go away.
I mean, I see where that's coming from, but I still don't agree with that approach.
Maybe she could just be a little more subtle and be like, hey, spank you for meeting me. I really like the spanks you're wearing.
Hi, it's really nice to meet you. Piss in my mouth.
Please, we're polite here.
I'm gonna do it back. Don't worry.
Please step on my balls.
Why is it pooping back and forth forever?
Yeah, I remember that.
Turns into a Cards Against Humanity episode.
Yeah.
Quote, pooping back and forth forever all the time. I mean, poo isn't my name, so.
A bigger like a Richard.
But I don't like poop.
Oh wait, okay, this isn't like someone I knew, but did you guys hear about like that girl on Reddit that she would sell her excrement on and people would buy it and for like hundreds of dollars, like in brownies and in cookies and in all sorts of stuff, and they would pay for it and it would ship. And
She
there was
was
like
a chef with shit. That's amazing.
That's
she
the
made
hustle,
so much
though.
money.
There should
Oh
be
my
like a
God.
channel for this.
Literally
I'm
shitting.
afraid of people getting my DNA.
Like
can't
on
that
one
be
hand,
good?
yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I watched Black Mirror. I know what happens to DNA. Never,
God.
and I'm never throwing anything out.
Like if you can turn your poo into money.
Shitting gold.
That's like taking the
That's
Gamer Girl
disgusting.
bathwater to the next level.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, you turn
Gamer
your
Girl
excrement-
toilet water.
Oh.
Hey guys, get my
Mi-
tongue out.
Miyako, what are the fetishes like in Japan? Are they worse?
Oh, it's the worst. One of the weirdest country about sexual in the world is Japan. So
Can you talk about them?
So when
Can
it
you
comes
let
to
us
dating,
in?
they're so proper, but then when it comes to sex, they're like bring out
yeah,
the tentacles.
exactly. That's
They have vending machines for
Tentacles
pretty much
and-
every fetish, don't they?
oh yeah. Like you can buy panties. You can buy anything. Like,
Panties, used.
Say, hey, anybody got a quarter?
exactly. Use the panty. You can get used panty from the
Oh.
vending machine.
It shows you
More
what
used,
girl
the
it
better.
was, like who it was too.
They're
You can
like
choose.
girls
Oh, I want
that
Why
that
don't they
girl.
just offer clean underwear in case you have an accident? At least that makes sense.
Miyako,
God.
Miyako, when I went to Japan, I could not find a vending machine like that.
Really?
I lived
Yeah,
in
I
Kuala
looked too.
Lumpur.
She looked.
You assume she knows the address. Well, you need to
Yeah,
go to Fifth.
please tell me. Please tell me where they are, because I couldn't find them. I looked really hard.
It's probably in Akihabara somewhere.
Fit one.
There's a used sock machine. You should
Oh
know
my
that.
I want
something, yeah.
severed feet machine. I want a severed foot machine.
Okay, I will send you DMs where it
Oh,
is.
thank you.
She's like,
I
I
want
have
to
to
get one free.
Oh, here's a weird fetish. I knew someone back in high school that was obsessed with like watching me swallow like water or
Oh.
watching other girls swallow water and like their throat moving.
That's real thirst right there.
I was like, it's like, what? Like, why? And he'd be like, it's just so beautiful. And like, I didn't think much of it. And about a year ago, I was going through YouTube, and you know how you fall into those dark like tunnels of YouTube. You're like, oh no, how do I get here? I found this
Endless
channel, and
hole.
it was all that. It was all just like women drinking slowly in slow motion. I'm like, okay, so that
That's a-
actually is a thing.
I can.
That's a big,
I know what
that's
they're
a big
imagining.
trending thing right now. There's a lot
Really?
of like famous streamers that are just eating food and they're just recording like ASMR, them chewing and swallowing food. It's like,
I get like mukbang.
That's my
it's
least
like
favorite.
in your ears where you can
ASMR
hear
is-
the inside of their mouths. I'm like, "Ugh."
I do
Yeah.
not like mouth sounds.
Dude, no
I
offense
don't
to
like-
you, Amaranth, but the sound of ASMR, it's like, because I like
My
I
favorite
don't really
pastime.
do many mouth sounds. I don't like
My-
licking the ears or
the
stuff
ear
like
licking
that.
is really
Licking.
popular. I'm surprised how erotic it's getting. I mean, I guess it's always been erotic, but I'm
yeah.
like, it looks like a blowjob. Whoa.
That is what they're. That's what they're doing. They know. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they
I
know
try to
exactly
avoid
what they're
that.
doing.
It just makes
Like
me
a whole
uncomfortable.
stream of that. Come on, you
See,
just
my
sound
favorite-
like you're licking a butthole.
My favorite thing is like going on Amaranth's ASMRs and trying to make her laugh while she's trying to be super quiet.
That's funny.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Oh, ASMR have just laughed. That's
She's
nice
just-
and wholesome.
She's
Little
just trying to be like super quiet and just make noises, and I'll just say random
Yeah.
things until she starts laughing.
Yeah.
Then she has to go.
No, I don't like when someone is brand new into. I'm all about like if you're gonna do something, put effort and energy into it. And I really, it's a pet peeve when people will go into the trending thing right now. It's ASMR with like the shittiest microphone. You hear the fan in the background, and there's no noise gain, no compression, and they're like doing stuff to it. I'm like, that's mono, right? If you hit it here or there, it doesn't make a difference. And I can't listen to it. It's like it grates on my ears, and I'm like.
And all you hear is like the guys outside mowing the grass and the thing.
It's like people are supposedly here to relax, and I can't relax because it sounds like
going outside in the busiest part.
Put a noise gate on, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They're using like a stage mic.
There's actually there's actually a child ASMR streamer, or not streamer, YouTuber that's pretty popular, and her mic is absolute shit. And then I guess recently she actually went to a porter potty for some reason to do an ASMR. Like, it was so disgusting.
Like pooping.
I just saw. No. Like I saw like a video clip of it, and she was like tapping on the porter potty door.
What the fuck?
And then she like
occupied.
she put toilet paper and like sat like she didn't pull her pants. What?
Did you get any toilet paper? Because we really need some.
It was like it was porter potty toilet paper. So industrial toilet paper is a lot different than like I'm gonna go to the store and buy toilet paper.
Yeah, it's like it's half a ply.
She's probably just like everything is
content. It's printer paper.
Yeah, but yeah, she like put toilet paper on the seat. Oh shit!
Have you seen my white guy?
He has a wall of gold.
Yeah,
solid
it's white
gold.
Welcome to
I can't wait till you guys start doing like we're doing a live toilet paper giveaway on Twitch right now. First 5,000 subscribers.
There was a toilet paper sale on like Target's website a few months ago, so we just bought like 6 months worth of toilet paper because we were like, it's a sale. We hate buying toilet paper, and then this epidemic happened, and I'm like,
you're like lucky.
My time has come.
You're like Mark Hamill.
When I DJ, one of my DJ sets is I call it the super sexy stripper set. It's a bunch of remixes of like your most cliche stripper songs, and I put the toilet paper rolls on the decks, and then when the certain songs come, I peel like little squares and I like make it rain.
And you're like,
I got that paper.
I've been wanting to do a TikTok video where I like propose to my wife and I pull out a roll of toilet paper. It's like, Mom, it's 4-ply.
Do it. That'd be so cute.
It's a double roll 4-ply.
Oh my god! Is it quilted though?
It's quilted. It's quilted by Charmin.
Not sponsored.
It's even engraved inside of the paper roll.
Like a date and name inside.
Yeah, like
toilet paper is like a circle, like our love. It lasts forever.
Like lately, I feel like a drug addict or something. I'm like, hey man, hey, you got the hook up on the toilet paper? Yeah. You know what I can get some?
I like TP.
We just need to get the fancy
like, hey, I
toilets
got
like
wipes for
Japan
days,
has,
son.
where they just like talk to you and wash your butt for you.
Bidets.
Yeah.
Yeah, bidets. Everybody's getting
I'm gonna
having
find
one
oh,
installed. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna find something for you guys. It's on my Twitter. It's really it's a meme that is on topic. So keep talking in this.
So the problem with bidets that I find as a woman though is that like you get wet, so you have to dry it though. So what do you do? Because you're not using soap, you're just
Doesn't
using
it have?
water.
Doesn't it have something to blow it off?
Some of them have dryers.
Not all of them.
Some of them do.
Oh,
The
not
one
all
I
of them
have
do?
is like
Oh.
cold water, so it just blasts you right in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god,
I've never used
Wake up.
Wake up! It's in the Discord.
Finish him.
if you have it up too high as well, it can blast and just like give you an enema.
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Give you what? What'd you say? Give
An
you
enema.
what?
Like an
What-
enema. Like literally,
Enema.
you can accidentally
An
blast
enema.
it so hard.
What is that?
Water
An
goes
enema?
up your
An enema?
asshole.
Stick in your
You don't know what an enema is? Oh,
Oh dear.
I
Oh, honey,
pray,
let
I
me
pray
teach
that you
you.
never have to find out.
No, I'm so honored that I am the person to teach you who an enema is.
Who an enema is?
An
Who
enema
is
is
an
when
enema?
you
Yes.
take this solution and you squirt it into your bunghole, and it causes any blockages that are keeping you from using the bathroom, called constipation, and turns it into liquid crap.
It liquefies whatever's inside there and it makes it come out.
Can it come out? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Like a soft serve
It's for
ice cream
medical
machine.
uses. Oh, I saw someone before in My Strange Addiction. People used coffee for their enema to like wake themselves up. It was
Yeah,
really
I've heard about that
unhealthy.
too.
Oh, you could.
Yeah.
Isn't that like?
Don't
Remember
do
when
that.
people were pouring beer up their buttholes to get
the
drunk
fuck?
without actually
Butt chugging.
drinking?
Butt
Florida man
chugging.
That's
Oh, I'm
my
sorry.
God.
I
That's
didn't
like
know
a
your
sure way to
butthole
kill
was like
yourself.
the gateway to your bloodstream.
I feel like you should have prefaced that
Yeah,
with
that's
a
super
Florida man today.
dangerous.
Yeah, you can die from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also die from what are those?
Pod
Tide
race.
Pods. Tide Pods.
Yeah, Tide
Tide
Pods. And
Pods?
people still do it.
Thankfully, that trend
I've been seeing on
stopped
Twitter
when
the
people started
Corona
dying.
challenge. People
Oh,
are
lick
going into
toilet
random
Licking the
seats.
toilet.
Yo, that is so nasty.
There's something way worse than
That
COVID-19 on those
one
toilet seats, my
Yeah,
friend.
I don't know.
That
People
one
are so
did it on the
desperate.
plane.
That's how the
She did it
virus
on the
mutates into
plane.
something
Like,
worse.
That's so nasty.
I think it's like I love social media and how it's given people an opportunity to make a living, but it also it's a double-edged sword. I feel like so many people chase
Stupidity.
they're like if I do the stupidest thing, then I'll get famous.
I'll get famous.
They haven't thought about
like Logan Paul.
long-term
Licking ice cream.
monetization. They just think
Let's
about
take
getting
some pictures with
viral.
suicide victims.
Oh,
Kind of thing.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
guy
so
that
it's
got
kind of-
arrested though.
That moron's he's just got a bunch of idiots surrounding him. He's a frat boy with a camera.
The problem is there's a lot of
Let's do
idiots
something
on the
stupid. Yeah,
internet.
man. Yeah, bro. That sounds sick, dude. Let's do that.
It's
Yeah.
because they're
Ah.
kids. They're kids with cameras. They
Let's
haven't
go pick on poor
have any
people.
life experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, this
Nothing
is
to
making
compare
me.
to.
This is making me. My stomach have a stomach ache. All this poop
Aw.
talk.
Maybe
Let's
you need
change the
enema.
subject. Let's go.
Guys,
Good.
I one last thing about the
I'll
poop,
get a
though. I
bidet.
put it in the
Last thing about the
Discord call.
poop.
It's a funny
Cheap
Twitter video.
link.
that
It
you
was
guys
cute
need
with
to
Michael
watch.
Jackson.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked it.
Okay.
Peter,
Chat wanted to ask
Peter.
earlier. If you are in a relationship already and it's not new anymore, what are some things you could do that could spice it up, like date night ideas or like just
Anal.
Oh,
Just
Oh
kidding.
my
Oh,
god.
I
I'm
hate
sorry.
anal.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
But have you taken your enema first? Because
Cosplay.
Clean it out first.
That's the segue.
you have
the
to have a
enema
bidet
into-
first.
Do you mean sexually
It's
spice it
everything.
up or just romantically keep it
I think
interesting?
both. Let's go with sexually first, since we're already talking about butts.
Butts and butts and butts.
I mean, they
and
have
butts
those
and butts.
cock rings and all that, like to
Those
spice
are fun.
for the guys. Yeah. I mean,
Especially
I
when they have a vibrator
I'm
on
so
this part.
sheltered.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't used any of these. So what would you suggest is your favorite way to spice it up if you have experience?
Am I
The
allowed to show
magic
it?
wand.
Don't show it.
I think
You
you're
can't
allowed to show
anything.
it.
You can
Oh,
talk
you
can't
cannot
show
show
it?
a
Okay.
sex toy.
Yeah.
in
Okay,
educational
okay.
reference.
Role play.
I guess.
Role play.
Roleplay cosplay.
That's fun too.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's always fun.
cosplay.
Willing
Someone's
to be
probably
into
got the
it.
costumes already.
I mean, anyone who actually hand makes their costumes, they don't want sexy times in those costumes. They're like, you're gonna
No,
wreck the
no,
stream,
you
and I'm
get
gonna get
different
real
ones.
mad in the middle of this. Like,
That's
Yeah, you
why
gotta
I always
have,
get all
like-
my costumes online.
I
'cause
make
I
like
don't know
easy
how to sew.
costumes.
You have to buy cheap versions. Cheap
Yeah, you
sexy
gotta have like the
costumes.
sexy time costume and then the convention costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ready.
Just come out in your onesie. Hey, boy. Pikachu, I want to
There's a whole
Pikachu.
cut in the
Oh my
crotch.
god.
How about those old underneath onesie pajamas that have the butt pocket?
Oh,
I
the
have
butt
one of
pocket?
those.
Those onesies? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I-
just the two buttons and a square.
Yeah.
Do you want to see it? I have one. I won't show my butt, but I'll just show you like the
Yeah,
pajama.
yeah,
But I
Is
can go
that,
get
like,
it.
the poo hole for back in the day?
I think it was intended for that.
Yeah, for like the night.
So
You remember like the old Looney
outhouses?
Tunes style cartoons where they'd be wearing the pajamas and then it would come down, you see their little butt, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
The one with the buttons on the flap. in the
Yeah,
back.
that's what I mean. The buttons, like a
Yeah, hold on. I'll go get mine. You guys keep
the
talking.
the
whatever.
exit only. Oh hey,
Yeah,
you-
exactly. Exit
gotta-
only, guys.
I got
Sorry,
off track earlier. You were asking about the Detective Pikachu movie, so it was funny that you brought it up because that was one of the things they left in was me actually saying the Pika Pika when it's not. They got the original. I actually saw the original voice when I was at the studio recording, so I'm like, that was the original voice, wasn't it? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know that? I was like, well, it's pretty obvious. She's not 6'3" and white like everybody else here. so and I was like, okay, so they got the original actor. Fans are gonna love that. But then they had a part where he's in the cage match and he does it. It's Ryan Reynolds doing it.
Yeah.
And that was me. They liked my version better than Ryan Reynolds. So that was me going Pika Pika. Like
So
that.
wait, did they just have you
Oh
copy
my
every
God.
line and they just pick between you and him for everything?
Well, from what I did, it seemed like they just felt like there was too much dead silent space in between certain scenes. And
so
so
you
they just had me
filled
do.
in-
It was one of the few times where like you can do whatever you want as long as you keep it PG. As long as you keep it within the scene, you can improvise. And I'm like, really? That's like for a voice actor, that's like unlimited playground time.
Yeah.
Okay, so whose
So I
idea
just-
was the crying? I want to be the very best.
You know, a little behind the scenes of that particular scene. Originally, he was supposed to be at the coffee shop having way too many cappuccinos or whatever, and he was basically doing it drunk. I want to be the very. So he was like cry drunk. So yeah, I recorded that part too, but they eventually changed it to the part that they had in the final.
I feel like if he was drinking
I liked
coffee, he'd
it.
be like, I want to be the very best.
I know.
Whatever
Well,
was.
they were making a joke that he was wasted,
Yeah.
but they couldn't do that with a kids movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was way funnier the way they had it, but that felt like that wasn't kid friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recorded that multiple times. We're like, I'll be the very best. He's like, by the end of it, just being a full cry, like just like completely broken heart.
What I loved about that movie was how they
No spoiler.
like it really
No
addressed the
spoilers. No
original
spoiler.
cartoons, and like it wasn't like in its own bubble, like it was self-aware.
I think
kind
it was
of.
the best version of Pokemon to make a live action movie out of to get people on board.
Yeah,
I
was
just did the whole
surprised.
Pokemon trainer versus trainer, Pokemon versus Pokemon.
Yeah.
General movie audiences would have been like, meh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought it was I was surprised.
They had to get Ryan Reynolds so everyone would come see it. Pokemon and
I'm glad
non-fans.
they did. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously
Did a
you did a
great
good
job.
job. But I thought that he
Thank
had his style of humor was like perfect.
Well, I think they built it around him, and a lot of people
Mhm.
were disappointed because it wasn't Danny DeVito because of the commercial that they had done. But I don't. Can you see him at the end? If you know what I mean, it wouldn't have worked.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that'd be so funny.
Try not to spoil because she hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, no spoiler, no spoiler.
Okay. It's a great movie. It was fun.
It's
Obviously,
probably
it's not
one of the best, if not the best, video game movie I think they've made.
Yeah. Because they
Sorry,
like...
Sonic fans. My
I
son-
haven't seen Sonic yet. I
I
heard
didn't
it's
see it
actually
either.
surprisingly
Love that
good.
movie.
It's fine.
It was so good.
It's fine. It's not the greatest movie ever made, like my son
It
thinks
was
it is.
good.
It's good.
And it
How old
had
is your
memes
son,
in
though?
it. I laughed so hard at those
14.
memes. I was like, really?
Pokemon I just think has a better setting than Sonic.
And
Yeah.
I think a larger fan base. to be
Pokemon just
perfectly
has like a
Yeah.
better series than Sonic. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
all
like,
of
you
it,
just- there's more
like
to
every
work
part
with.
of it. Yeah.
I
agree.
like Sonic. I love the games, but I was never a big, huge fan of like the cartoons.
Well, Sonic for me.
Which
just-
one did you watch though? Because they had two, and they had one that was straight garbage.
I don't even remember, to be honest.
Well,
with
it's just
you.
Ben Schwartz is such a great
The
actor.
one that had
and
Sally
person.
Acorn was the good one.
Who is?
Ben Schwartz, the guy who did the voice of Sonic in the movie. He's,
Oh,
he's
okay.
a great actor, but
May the Schwartz be
kinda-
with you.
he kind of just didn't do a great job voice acting, in my opinion.
Oh, is it not that?
It sounded like somebody acting, but when he's on camera,
Oh.
he's freaking great. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't translate. Some people
Is he not normally a voice actor? Is he more of an
I
actor?
don't know if he's done other stuff before, but it just kind of felt it just felt like he was like somebody who hasn't done it very
'Cause
much.
I do think because
Um,
if you notice, voice actors, it's like a smaller community and they're in everything. So I wonder if voice acting is just a whole nother skill set than acting.
I-
It
there's
doesn't
definitely-
translate too well.
It really
Definitely with
is.
celebrities. Like there's
Mhm.
some celebrities that they just can't voice act at all. I mean, they try. But,
Yeah.
like you see behind the scenes videos from DreamWorks, and the actors are moving all over because they're not used to being in front of a microphone. They realize, oh, I'm not on camera. I don't have to do that.
I thought
Yeah.
that sometimes they'll film the voice actor when they're doing their moving, and they'll actually it'll inspire the
Sometimes they do,
animation.
but
Sometimes.
it's just, like they just can't help themselves. They think the camera is still on. Usually Disney's the one that like matches up the anime because they don't do the animation until after they record the voice.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of like
DreamWorks, I
Robin
don't think
Williams
they do
doing the
that.
genie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, back
he
then
like
they did. Back then they actually based it on the person that was doing the voice for it, which I always
Mhm.
thought was great because they capture more of the performance that way.
yeah, and like
It
the
kinda
little
just looks more
voice
natural.
matches up with your
We
expressions.
need to get a name that parents know because kids don't really care, but we need to get a big celebrity that parents know so they'll take their kids to see this movie and we can get them on the talk show circuits talking about the films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, also someone like Robin Williams is really animated anyway.
Yep.
Like, they're probably like
That was very, very
like
physical.
can't sit still anyway, and
Oh,
it
he
helps
has a
them
right
act.
He's
It
got
helps
the
them.
ADD, he's got the ADHD. He's got all kinds of letters.
Yeah, it helps them voice act to physically like
I
make
don't think they have rules
movements or
for him.
whatever.
I think he just went in and did whatever he wanted to do and they just recorded everything because he was
Yeah,
just so great
probably.
at it.
Yeah. Imagine being
Like,
so
don't turn the
talented
camera
that they
off.
just put you in a room and just say, "Just be you. We love it." Just
Much. Just that good. I was
true.
reading tweets while I was like in shock earlier. They're talking about Ryan Reynolds doing a live action version of Dragon. Was it Dragon Quest? No, Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair, the old Disney like.
Oh, is that the one with Princess Daphne?
Really?
Who's like,
I've never seen this.
Like arcade game, and they're talking about Ryan Reynolds being in the live action adaptation. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
that would be so dope.
That's such a hard game.
Oh, dude, there's so few people actually beat that thing.
Yeah.
wait, is that the one with the
Over every time.
extremely sexual princess?
Yeah, she's
With the
like, oh my god, you have
I
to.
don't know. I never got that far.
To slay the dragon. No, come on. You got to
Yeah.
go look on YouTube.
That's
And I
Is
think her
this
name
a
is like
game?
Princess Daphne. Yeah, but it's
I've
like
never
got
played
cartoon
it.
cutscenes, and she's like Jessica Rabbit on steroids, and she's just like, you came to save me, and her legs are all like she's like doing this weird dance while she's expressing her gratitude.
What is
She's
it?
doing
Limited
the
Run
dragon
Games right
dance.
now has it for if you want to get it on Switch.
It's funny as fuck. It's the most hilarious
really?
thing I've ever seen. And the voice, she's like, to slay the dragon, oh, you must go and defeat him in his lair.
Never fear, ma'am. I'm on my way.
It's like, I'd rather defeat something in your lair.
And Kate, what was that question again? It was about spicing up relationships, right?
Yes. How do you
Yeah.
spice up
That was
relationship?
What if you like sexted throughout the day, or like got a big like look at your lingerie collection, and
Sorry, I don't have one.
I would love to see you in one. Why not?
Why don't men wear lingerie more?
I know,
They
why
really
not?
should.
This is
It's what
unjust.
Kim said earlier. Testosterone is visual, and
That's
estrogen
true.
is,
I wear the
is
better.
sensational.
Okay,
So
So you
what
were
if you're-
asking earlier, like, how to spice things up. For me, I'm just very old school. It would be like taking a girl out on a date that just made her feel like she was a freaking queen. Like the nicest restaurant, order whatever you
so
want.
wholesome.
And then you would go rose petals, you would go candles, don't burn down California. And then you know you can. And there's also like some fun games that you can do where you can just like roll dice and you can pick something on the board and nobody loses in that game.
I like
like
it
adult
when you're
game?
flirtatious
Yeah.
throughout the whole day. Like not just before sexy time, but like when you're around each other, just like a little touch or brush or a little kiss, and like, you know, later I'm gonna have you. Just
Because
build
later-
and some anticipation. That
It's
makes
gonna
it
be
kind of
business time.
You could like
And then
introduce-
she's like, let me make a note not to come home tonight. That's a good one though. You have to find the balance
introduce
though.
like toys or something into the bedroom that you haven't done before, or try something new. I mean, there's that too. Or for
Some
like,
guys are weird about that though. They're like, no,
They
if
are.
I don't
They
want to
really
use a
are.
toy
Oh,
on you.
they
I
feel like
don't
it
want anything on
emasculates
you.
them. Yeah, they're like, what,
It's
that's
like,
what
like,
toys
this isn't
are.
about you, guy.
there's like this
Not
one.
enough for you.
I got a toy built in. I don't need nothing.
I'm
gonna
sorry,
use
you
no
do
toys.
vibrate at like 500 reps per second.
First, we're gonna get in the
There's
mission.
one that's like really nice because
and
it's
then
like
we're gonna do the thing, and then we're gonna be whammy, and we're done.
oh boy.
Oh,
you talking like that, you're getting me
It was the
moist.
best 10 seconds of her life.
Oh Lord.
My last girlfriend was so old, her breast gave powdered milk.
Oh.
He just makes her laugh until her legs spread. She's like, okay.
I'm ready.
You win.
Like you come home and your
I
boyfriend
lost.
is dressed in like a one-piece body stocking that's like crotchless. That would be it for me. I just be like, I'm ready.
What? I think you're weirded out like
I
that.
thought you were gonna
Yes.
say like a two-piece suit. Now he's
Yeah,
about to get
I
bored
I
with
know.
you.
He's
He took
dressed
a
as
hard
Spider-Man.
left.
He's
As a
just
guy,
like, I'm
all you
here.
have to say is that you're not wearing any underwear, and guys are like, okay, we're
Like,
ready.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Just the thought doesn't need that to be true, and we're done. We're ready.
But it is important for men to realize, and for women to realize, that women do take a lot more warming up.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Over
see,
a
that's
period
why I
of
mentioned the date. You have to make it freaking super date. You go all
Yeah.
out. By the time you
Or
get
e-
back home,
And just flirtatiousness throughout, just little
Yeah.
things. Put the thoughts in her head and let him cook for a little bit.
Because that's another thing too. If
Get
a
ready.
woman's not feeling it before you even start the foreplay, like if she's just
doesn't
like
feel like anything.
emotionally not
Yeah.
happy with
It's just
you,
not fun.
then she's not
You have to
getting
get
wet.
that-
She's
you
just
have to
gonna
get the
dry up.
headspace right
She's a
first.
fish out of water. All right, you got to take her back to the pond.
If she's already
'Cause
mad
if
at
you
you,
do
it's a
arouse us,
no-go.
even the slightest touch anywhere will give us like, oh. But if we're not aroused and you go straight for it, it's like it doesn't feel like anything.
You have to plant the
Yeah.
seed and just like screw the plant.
If you go straight for it, you can actually like make her more turned off because it's abrasive and frictiony.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, I could have got there, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to ask, have any of you ever dated just like the straight up douchiest guys that they portray in like romantic comedies? Like, hey, you want to bang? Let's go.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
You know, and get with this guy right here. Yeah.
No, because if a guy, he could be the hottest guy in the world, but if he straight up approached me and propositioned me, I'd be so disgusted. I'd be like, how many girls before me did you proposition, and what kind of shit is on your dick?
Number 72 for the day.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I like to feel special to the guy. I don't know. I like to be romanced and finessed.
See, there you go. That's the only way I know how to do it.
Yeah, and like as long as both parties are consenting, some light or heavy BDSM in the bedroom can spice it up.
Yes.
So
I've
like
never
what?
experienced that. Can you tell us what you do
BDSM.
personally?
Oh yeah, but that's a whole can of worms. There's so many levels, and
Yeah. You just have to have a discussion beforehand and make sure everyone feels safe and
Make a safe word, y'all.
Safe word.
Make
safe
it
word.
spiders. Spiders should be your safe
Make
word
me your
because
puppy
everything
and change
stops.
my
it's
when you
not
feel
the name of your
spiders.
grandmother.
Ethel.
Augustine.
yeah, it should be a word that you don't normally say and not something that's
Gladys.
gonna
What if the safe word is yes, daddy?
No. That's not a good idea.
BDSM, I think it's like I'm curious about it, but I am kind of nervous because I don't want to like feel pain during sex. You know?
Right.
Some people are into
Yeah,
that, a little bit
I'm
of
the
pain,
same
but
way.
I'm like, no.
Like pain.
Can't relate.
Everybody's big.
Yeah, I know there are some girls that like to be like choked out so they can't breathe, and I'm just like, I already
okay,
can't
not-
breathe
That's
normally.
not really
That
like a little
sounds terrible.
squeeze. I mean more like slapping or pinching or.
no.
Oh yeah,
driving
some
you
girls
so
like
hard.
want to be slapped hard. I was listening to like another podcast.
That would piss me off. That made me mad. I'd be like, oh.
Oh my god.
Just slap him back.
They want like I was listening to this other podcast, and these girls wanted to like so much like to be dominated that it would they would come out with bruises afterwards and look like they were physically abused.
I can
And I'm
already
like,
see like a video of that actual thing. Like he pinches and it's like this Kill Bill zoom.
God. Yeah, that's why I'm like nothing. Don't do anything to my face, please. Like I don't like that.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
This is safe
this one
zone.
girl I dated, like I knew it wasn't going to work because she was severely into like extreme pain, apparently.
Is this the one that liked the humiliation?
No, this is a different girl, and she
No.
too many. But really, she was wild because I didn't know she seemed really sweet, really, really quiet. You know, you never suspect it. And this one time, out of the blue, she's like, "I'd really like you to hurt me," and I'm like, "What? Excuse me, what?" And she's like,
I'm breaking up with
I'm
you.
like, spank me or something? Like, okay. She's like, no, like, make me bleed. I'm like, dude, like, that is
Yeah,
not
that's too much.
happening. Like,
She
that
like
is
some
not-
trying to
spanking I
trick
could
you.
see.
That's what I'm thinking. She's gonna try to kill me.
She's trying to get you in trouble with the law.
Got
Oh wow.
cameraman.
Sue
back
you.
somewhere.
I'm gonna
Like I
sue
can
you.
understand people liking to be like spanked and stuff, and like you know like tossed around a little bit,
Right.
like thrown on the bed, and like not
I
like a hurtful
that
way.
only because it demonstrates like the physical strength and
Yeah,
prowess of
like
the
that's
I'm a very
but
tall
when you're
girl.
coming out
I
with like
a
scrapes
big
and
guy.
bruises and like actual wounds, I'm like, no,
Right.
that's too
No.
much.
I believe one of the things she said was, "I want you to make me purple all over," and I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
No.
She
That
probably
is
has
like-
daddy issues.
she
Buy a
does.
Barney
She
costume.
does. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
a Barney costume. Yeah, I want you to make me purple all over. Here you go." Kind of like
Eyeshadow.
Make me purple like Barney.
Party for me.
Purple like Fox's hair. Is it purple? It looks purple right now.
Like I try,
Yeah,
I try not to like kink shame because I know everybody's into different things and that's totally fine. But like, I think like if you have a really extreme thing like that, like get that out. Not as soon as the one.
Yeah,
girl.
not as soon as you meet them.
No, not be like, "Hello, nice to meet you. Would you
Just
like
whip
me
it
to-"
out. It's fine.
It's fine.
Hi, are you
Be
in Fight
shy.
Club?
Put some more.
Excuse me, could you please make me purple like Barney?
There's a lot to unpack there.
Criteria for a date.
Jeez.
Oh my
I
god.
found it really weird. I dated this Marine, and he always begged for like hickeys, and I was like, if they're
wants
gonna
those
happen,
to
they're
show
gonna
From the South.
happen, but you don't ask.
Was he from the
Like, it
South?
was really weird. What?
People. That was such a dad joke.
Was he from like the, seriously though? Was he from the Southeast?
He's from Florida.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a Florida
Being a
man.
Florida
Yeah.
guy.
We're from a hickey's like a oh look.
No,
He wanted to
so
like,
like,
he
he
wanted
wanted
to
to
beg
show
for it.
He totally wanted
We
to
know
show
what you did.
Yeah,
he wanted to.
Like, he wanted to be like, yeah, you see that girl? I got these from her, and then like just take off
Yeah.
his shirt.
Oh,
Yeah,
so maybe
it's
it's like a bit of a dominance thing. He wanted to be like, oh yeah, she did this to
He
me.
just wanted to show off.
When
too.
I was
Yeah.
15, a guy
I'm
asked
not a
if he could
virgin
give me a
anymore.
hickey so that he could brand me, and I was like,
Oh, that's
"Do you
weird.
know who my dad
Oh
is?
my
He'll
God.
kill you."
Is this
Florida
Vampire's
man
Masquerade?
today.
Like, who does that?
Yeah, like because he
Florida man
wanted
today
to
went
like
around
mark
asking
his
for hickeys from
territory.
50 women until he asked a gator to do it and lost his head. News of the month.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, I knew a girl that would always come into work with like hickeys from her boyfriend, and I'm like, okay, it's like we know you have a boyfriend. Does he really need to do that to you?
I would
I
just
don't
find
think
that
it's- that's, like-
inconvenient. It's like, ugh. I
To
don't
be
like how
honest, though,
hickeys look.
some of it may be naivety because I gave my wife a lot of hickeys when we first got married because I'd never been with a girl before, so I didn't know what I
Oh,
was.
so you're just sucking too hard?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think
It's
I've ever
like-
gotten an
I
accidental
suck.
hickey before. I haven't had a hickey. I don't think. If I have ever had a hickey, it was like literally 15 years ago.
Yeah, like I think
What am I, 12?
some people could bruise easily or whatever, but it's like how long do you have to be sucking on someone's neck to give them that mark? Like
They have
it
low
doesn't seem
iron. and
like it
it's
would be
bad.
uncomfortable. Like
Right.
like you
Yeah.
have to suck on someone's body part for so long for it to make that purple mark.
That's
Some
another thing.
people
Why do
bruise more
vampires
easily
never
than
leave
others.
hickeys? They only leave like little
Yeah,
tooth
why is
holes.
that?
You'd think they'd be
Yeah, you think it'd be all
bloody,
bruised
fuzzy
and
hickeys.
like
They're like,
bloody.
I mean, they suck them
You
dry
should
in like
bring
30
that
seconds.
up. You should bring that up the next time you're part of a vampire project. Be like, by the way, if you
Yeah,
do not
right.
like this a
Makeup crew
hickey,
in
it is
here.
That's not
breaks my
scientifically
immersion.
accurate. We had a
You're
kid in
breaking
high
my
school.
immersion.
We had a kid in high school that used to give himself hickeys with vacuum cleaners. We're like,
Oh my god.
Oh!
so bad because he would keep doing it to himself. So he just
Oh
messed
my god.
Is that
I know a girl who would
Miyako?
hide her hickeys
What?
with a curling iron. She'd burn herself
God.
with her hickeys were just so her
Oh,
parents
God.
wouldn't realize. Oh, I burnt myself with a curling iron again.
Oh my god.
Miyako,
Like a
Like,
normal
is,
person.
is the hickeys, are those
My
a thing in
boyfriend Brandon
Japan with all like the tentacles? Do they like
yeah, it's a thing.
it's a thing because of
like
the
for,
suction?
yeah,
of the
especially for
tentacles?
student though, like
Oh god.
it has a lots of things on the around the neck, and they're like, oh, like oh, I had a really good night last night, and they're like showing them in the school. It's like a thing.
Do they have
Just go-
like tentacle
just go
toys
get
that
an
can give you a
octopus tentacle
hickey?
and wrap it
Yeah,
around your
exactly. That's what I was thinking. Do they like have toys
bunch
that
of
can do
circles.
that or something?
Or
It's like, well, I was down to
Yeah,
my
yeah.
submarine.
there's like
The
octopus.
Kraken and I got kind of hot and heavy.
Like tentacle
think they
toys that
look
suck your
trash.
skin?
Yeah. Like there's called like I forgot the name, but octopus something. Like
Mhm.
The
you can-
suction cup. Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
the, suction, the little
yeah.
tentacle.
Suckers?
suction
yeah,
cup.
yeah, and they put into your skins, and then like suck out like that, and then you can have a hickey. And some people don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend, just do it and like just to show.
You
Yeah,
know, an
to
octopus
brag.
I had it last-
hole.
Ah!
Just to pretend.
just to pretend, yeah.
Just wear like
Yeah,
an
that's-
octopus
That sounds
choker.
pretty desperate to be octopus tentacles.
Well, that sounds like the vacuum cleaner guy.
I just had this mental picture of like a fighting game character that had like an octopus
Necklace of
wrapped around
hickeys.
his neck as part of his character's look. Some
Yeah,
weird tagline
girls
like,
really
"I've
like
got suction
him."
cups for days, ladies." Oh.
That's crazy.
I just think there's like once you're past 18, there's no reason to have a hickey.
Yeah.
Unless, you know.
That's
Naive, okay.
I know. I wasn't referring to you. I just mean
It's
like
only 21.
we'll make a special exception for you because you
Aw.
were. It was your first time.
I was
you
a
were
good
horny.
boy. I made sure I was good.
As long as you could cover them up. Putting all makeup on there. Oh no.
No, I use
Everyone
makeup
will
to cover
think
up
I'm
the
such a
zits,
whore.
not the hickeys. I was one that got like the one big one that took up the whole forehead. It's like growing at veins.
Ew.
Mom, I need that touch-up makeup stuff again.
Oh.
Too many.
Information.
Let me see. There are some more topics on here. Let me look.
Is there a hot topic?
Are we already at 4 hours?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's
Where did
been
the
a lot
time
of
go?
fun.
It's a time portal.
Yeah, it's like it feels like it's been like 1 hour.
I've been standing here for 4 hours.
All right.
Why don't you have
You're just standing.
This stool.
You have a stool, sir.
Yeah.
This is a standing booth, not a sitting booth.
You could have a stool.
Yeah, you can have a.
Well,
sure.
I could sell my stool on the internet, apparently.
But you're not a sexy young lady.
Yes,
But there is someone that would buy it though. That's for sure.
Sure they would.
There's someone that will buy anything. Like some guy wanted to buy my toenails, and it was like,
oh, he was gonna try to create like a test tube baby with your toenail DNA.
I think he was gonna jack off with them.
He was gonna take them and he was gonna.
Oh, here's a question from chat. They wanted to know, what is the best, like, specific date that you've ever been on? Like, can you describe what your best experience was? Like, specific place that you went?
Oh wow, that's hard.
That's really hard.
I've been on so many good ones.
If you got a couple seconds, I can tell you how I proposed. It was like
Yeah.
best ever had. So, I had gotten my wife's ring. It was an heirloom from her mother, who was handed down from her mother, and I got it and bought it. I bought it from her. I don't know. It was weird. And then I went and got it cleaned and got it sized to fit her. But then I told her that I wasn't going to be able to get engaged for a while because money was tight. I made up some excuse. There's a place in Memphis called the Botanical Gardens, which is just like it's huge, it's all flowers, all just great places for pictures, whatever, weddings, the whole thing. And they had this little pond of koi, like huge koi. There were tons of them. And there's a little red bridge, and I had the people working there had left. I'd prearranged for some stuff to be left on the bridge, and there was a box of chocolates in the shape of a heart that had all these like peach-colored flowers on it. And I also had a dozen roses that were the same exact looking flower. And I also had in the middle of the box her ring in the midst of all the chocolates, and so she would know it was there. And her card also had the same flowers. Like the whole thing matched. And I had written out my proposal in poem form because I had practiced asking her to marry me, and I kept choking up. My throat kept drying out. So I was like, well, you know what? Just in case, I'll have it written down. And the end of the poem ended it with, "Will you marry me?" And she didn't really talk either. She just kind of made motions. But yeah, so I proposed on the bridge that day. Like while she was reading the card, I made sure by the time she got to the end of the card, I was on one knee with the box open and the ring like opened up because she didn't know it was there. And so we got engaged on Valentine's Day. Was our Valentine's Day.
Oh, so cute.
That's probably the best date that I've ever been
And
on.
since then, it's just been downhill. Just kidding.
No, I've had some pretty great dates. I'm pretty good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because like the date is never about what you do; it's about who you're with.
I feel like if you're still telling the story 20 years later or whatever, then it had to be pretty good, because there's so many gone on so many dates that there's still only like 5 or so that we would be like, oh man, remember that one time.
You said you proposed on Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day.
Why'd you do it not any other day?
So
though?
I would never ever forget what day I proposed on.
You guys have terrible memory.
Hard to mess up, yeah.
It kind of helped also make Valentine's more special. And it's not just, it's Valentine's Day. It's like it's the anniversary of the day that I proposed.
Yeah. Do you celebrate both the anniversary of your engagement and your anniversary?
I do like super dates on Valentine's Day. Like this last
Really?
week, I took her to the observatory. I took her to what it's called the Urban Lights. You've seen a lot of models in front of those silver lights in LA, like the lampposts.
Oh yeah.
She'd never been there. Somebody else was getting proposed to that day at that
Aw.
point too, when we went. And then I got her that autographed bottle of Aviation Gin, and I got her something else too. I got her a shout out from Ryan Reynolds on Twitter too. So none of that even cost me anything. I just asked, and like, okay, yeah, we'll hook you up, bro. So it ended up,
so
and I
cool.
took her to a really nice Italian, like one of the nicest Italian restaurants where a lot of old school celebrities used to go. What's his face from the singer guy? starts with a P. I can't remember his name. I wasn't alive then, so. But the guy that sings like this, yeah, it's like very old school wooden, you know.
Terry Como?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who starts with a P.
Frank Sinatra. Why did I say P?
Yeah, I was like, immediately I was thinking Frank Sinatra, but I was like, his name doesn't start with a P.
I don't know where I got the P from.
Hank Sinatra, his brother.
Sinatra. Yeah, so yeah, it was like I had the whole thing planned. I could not believe that it went as smoothly as it did, like beginning to end. It was flawless.
That's
And
amazing.
she's like, wow, that was a good date. I'm like,
that's so cool.
It's kind of a thing. I can't look like Brad Pitt, but I can plan a good date.
Damn.
Damn.
I feel like your daughters
I
are
was
gonna
gonna
have
say, you
like
said it
too
started
high
with a
of
P 'cause it's
standards.
PH.
Daughters will be spoiled for every guy that even comes.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hold a candle to that.
I know they're gonna be like so expecting and like so disappointed all the time. Like, why aren't you
Guys
more
these
like my
days would
dad?
never work that hard for that. They'd be like, nah, that's way too much.
What about you, Miyako? Do you have any date stories?
The best date story?
So cute.
Time.
I will think about that. So, please,
All that and no payoff,
someone-
guys.
No, okay. Letty, do you have any date stories?
Let's go.
We thought there was gonna be.
Actually, I wanna know Amo's story. Amo.
Oh, you want my story? My best date story?
Yeah, I
my
wanna
best
know. I think
one.
everybody wanna know.
They're all trash. No, they're okay. They're okay. Yeah, definitely nothing. I feel like everything's disappointing now compared to the kind of dates John makes.
just
I
God,
set the
I
bar
just-
so high, so.
the bar is so high now. But that one time at Denny's, no, that was awful. No, that was not a good time.
Was that a bank camp?
Probably Dave and Buster's is like the most exciting kind of date that I've had.
Grown up Chuck E. Cheese is the best you can do.
Yeah,
Don't
that's the best
underestimate
date that
that.
I've had, honestly.
But they were young. They were young.
Yeah.
When you went to Dave and Buster's, did they have the simulators there?
What's simulators?
So when I was in California for a while, they had like a literal, like you would go sit in like a ride at Dave and Buster's, and it like put on 3D glasses, and it would move.
No,
Yeah,
we didn't have
Yeah.
that.
I think that's more recent.
You said the
No, it was like 2008, I think. I don't know if they do.
Really?
anymore. Yeah.
Some of them do, and some of them don't.
Some of
It
them, yeah.
depends on the location.
I've had lots of like in real life dates, but they kind of have sucked. I think like honestly, one of my favorite dates was like a virtual one. And I know that sounds weird, but it was like one of the days I met one of my best friends and we just spent like hours, and I was talking in this really beautiful place and this silly game we were playing. We got to know each other, and it was probably really cool for me because it was one of the relationships that just changed my life, because I didn't know at the time I was meeting like my best friend. So I mean, not really a romantic date, but it was nice.
Wow. That's really
My-
sweet.
Nice
My-
date. Nice date.
The rest
It's
are
so
like,
sweet.
oh, what's that like? A nice date.
It's fine. You know what? That's what we'll do. We'll all go down on Second Life, and we'll go on a great date.
That's right.
Orgy, what? I mean,
Suddenly,
have
like
that
there's
Dungeons
three
and
of-
Dragons date. Remember,
Dungeon-
girls?
yes.
Yes, there we
Dragons.
go. So what about Letty or Fox?
Dragons
Do you guys
like
have any
princess.
date stories? Best date?
Back in high school, this guy that I like had a thing with, it was actually Valentine's Day too, but he brought me to a nice little dinner, and then after that we just went to the what's it called? Where you go to a place to watch movies, but not like the actual movie theater. It's like outside.
Drive-in.
Thank you.
Drive-in?
We went to a drive-in movie theater, like, and it was just nice. Like he
Oh, those are
had
so
a pickup
romantic.
truck,
Oh, I
and he
love those.
brought like blankets and pillows and all that. And we just laid in the back of the truck, the bed, and just watched a movie and all that. Yeah,
Aw.
so,
In
like,
the 50s.
yeah, I think that was like the cutest thing I've ever been on.
Your intentions with
I heard
Cute.
Corona's making drive-ins popular again.
really?
Nope, they closed
Yeah,
down.
because they can't go to the
hanging
movie
out?
theater, so they just go to
They
a
closed down the
drive-in.
drive-ins too.
Really?
Oh man.
I like drive-ins. I think they're very romantic.
Depends on your area,
My
probably.
drive-ins because my battery died. Nobody warned me about the radio.
I always think of Greece.
Mm.
Like,
Oh,
Oh my god.
What about Fox? What has been your best date
Stranded at the
experience?
drive-in.
I want to hear from Fox.
Drive-in. Hey, oh, how you
I guess my best date
Oh,
is
Sandy.
like, I'm pretty like simple when it comes to like pleasing, I guess I don't want to say like pleasing me, but like making me happy. So
Right.
it was just like a day of hanging out with each other. It just started out with us going because like I like to go to the gym, going to the gym. Then we went and hung out and we just watched anime together and like experienced a few
Anime.
anime together.
Which anime?
We were actually watching what is that new one? Oh, Neverland or something.
John's showing off his tongue agility.
Is it the one about like factory
That's his
farming
best.
kind of?
Yeah,
The Promised Neverland. I'm sorry, I'm a
It's
huge
Neverland, yeah.
Yes. I love that.
Promised
Yeah.
Neverland.
Yeah, so we just like watching that.
So it's recently, yeah.
And then we just went to like this sushi bar that like we're good friends with the sushi chef, and it was just like a really good time because the guy like spoils us because like he has like a really good personality and just like made friends with him. So like anytime that we go in, we're like Tommy, and he like gives us like water from the mountain and everything, and it's just like a chill day of, and it was just really a full day of nice.
Aw.
And anime, I love it, love it.
Ooh, very nice date.
That's
Very nice date.
What about Bindo now? Anything with you?
I guess I've had nice dates in the past, but really for me, what I immediately think of is like a bad date, which was also on a Valentine's Day. It was a double date, and it was over a Katsucon weekend romance, guys. And during their sitting at the table waiting to order, through a very short, very quick series of events, I found out my boyfriend at the time was cheating on me.
Oh, I found it out too. Conventions.
I found
It's
out.
always conventions.
Yeah, so it was weird. So
confused. You had a boyfriend, but you were already on a date with somebody
no.
else.
So it was a double date. It was with him.
Oh,
and a
no,
couple.
he was there.
So with friends. So he was there, and I found out in this time of Valentine's
Hanging
Day,
out.
double dating, about to order, and I found out because I was like detectiving in my head, and I was putting two and two together, and I was like, "Hold the fuck on, guy!" So I caught him. It didn't end right there because I was like, you know what, just tell me the whole story, and like, you know, I'll just try to be understanding. Like a fucking idiot, don't do that.
Was she
Did
better
you
than
confront him right then and there, or
Oh
you
yeah, I
confronted him
confronted him
after?
immediately, but he
Like
he
in
was-
front of everyone?
He was
Yeah?
oh yeah, like right in front of him, and then he immediately tried to like just
Lie.
run, he like tried to run away. Like he like left the table and like we just
Anime
left.
runs.
So and then we're like
What a
arguing
dumbass.
in
I'm gonna
parking
head
lots. Like yeah, he's like, I don't have to deal with this. You know what? Fuck you. You know, like just kind of like I don't have to deal with you accusing me of stuff. And
That's 100% guilty when they do that.
Of course. And then I'm like, I have to be like,
I will not stand for this, sir.
I won't be mad at you. I just need you to be
You're mad at me what
honest.
you caught me doing.
Yeah, and
How dare you accuse me of things I'm guilty of?
literally, yes, it was exactly like that. It was like I was the one who had the problem, even though I found out, hey, you were doing this thing, and this is now an issue. And he was like, well, I don't have to take you yelling at me.
So you did yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why are they crazy? No, mine was like I had mine at the convention too. I don't know what it's about conventions and cheaters, but like in my situation, mine was so convinced he did nothing wrong. I literally walked in on him and her, and she was on top of him, and their clothes were off on the bed, and his excuse was like, "Oh, she was just reaching for her phone on the nightstand next to the bed."
She was naked.
And I'm like, yeah, like the lingerie, about to get naked. And I'm like, he's like denying it as I'm catching him in the act, and there's literally no other explanation.
I go to an encounter.
My God.
I was like,
You banging
really?
on the thought wasn't me.
He's like, you don't understand. She was just reaching for her phone. And like she wasn't even going towards the nightstand.
Was her phone
When
in
I
your
walked-
pants?
her phone wasn't like even on the
You happy
nightstand.
to see me?
At least it was an International Women's Day. That was
I like opened
It's
the
the only thing I
door
could've
because I
saved.
had a feeling they were in there because he kept like losing his badge repeatedly throughout the convention, and I'm like,
Oh my
say,
god.
losing his badge
and they
in the
were
middle
going
is-
back to the hotel together to check them too. And I had a feeling, and so I went there and was like real quiet, opened the door really fast, and like she like pounced off of him like a cat, like so high in the air. I'm like, that's what I thought. And he's like, she was just reaching for her phone. You don't that's not what it looks like. Like,
Wow. Yeah, guys like immediately are just like in denial. They're like, this wasn't real until I was just caught, so it didn't really happen, even though you just got
Right.
caught.
All right,
Not
everyone,
real.
fake news,
Fake
people.
news.
This never happened. All right, believe me. Trust me, people. Everyone knows this. I didn't do anything wrong. It's a perfectly normal phone call.
Imagine that
It
he's
wasn't me.
in the room while they're
It's
doing
just
this
a
too.
huge
Ma'am caught me on the
mistake.
counter, but it wasn't me.
exactly. And I'm like, yeah, why were you guys like naked then practically? And he was like, oh, well, you don't understand because you don't drink, but when you're drunk, you get really hot. And I'm like,
Are you kidding?
Wow. You could have said we were doing a cosplay shoot and I was just showing her how to pose. Anything would have been better than what he said.
yeah, I'm like,
We were hot because
You
we
got
were
caught on a
drunk.
nail.
Yeah.
She slipped on a banana peel.
I'm like, how, like that doesn't make it better, and I know that's a lie anyways. It's like,
We were just putting suntan lotion on each other for the pool, and then we slipped around and fell in the bed. And
Whoa!
stuff just
on.
happened. I don't know.
At least he didn't do the classic, get off me, what are you doing? I told you, no means no. Leave me alone. My girlfriend's right there.
Oh my god.
Baby, I don't know what's happening
She
here.
threw herself at me and held my clothes hostage.
And I was like, you don't seem drunk right now. He's like, well, when you walked in, I sobered up completely. I'm like, uh-huh.
I got this letter with all these newspaper words on it and said, if you ever want to see your dog alive again, you'll have sex with me in the hotel.
Ay, ay, ay.
I had to do it, honey, to save our dog.
Baby, I did it for you. All
I
right?
did
Yeah,
it for
any
you.
excuse would've been better.
Somehow they always turn it back around. Well, if you hadn't done this, it's all your fault that I'm doing this thing.
Like anything would have been more believable.
Yeah, because he tried to like kind of
got
put
hot.
the blame back on you, right? That oh, you wouldn't have sex with him, and then you twisted it back around on him, and were like, oh, I was going to.
Yeah.
You were lying.
Yeah, I was lying. Yeah.
See, I feel like
Yeah.
this goes back to what she said about dating smart people or just being smarter.
Mhm.
Oh,
It got hot.
yeah, I know.
A Florida man today got too hot in his motel room with a naked lady.
But then he
Just fell
actually
in,
ended
he
up
tripped
in
and
hot
fell.
water.
She was trying to reach to get her
True.
phone, and they just connected
Yeah.
like two Legos.
They're
Ugh,
now suing the phone
God.
company
I know. Some people.
for emotional damage.
As you can
Phones
see,
are
I've
so
had
far
great.
and hard to
I've
reach.
had great dates, Kep.
Man,
So brave.
Fantastic dating experiences. Not-
Letty and John have to get going.
Okay.
This might be a good spot to kind of.
Yeah, it's fine. We've been doing this for 4 hours. It's fine.
Whew.
I had fun.
Wow, this was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful to meet all of you guys, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you guys
Ammo,
for
thank you for
coming
having me again
out
on it.
and joining
Appreciate
me and taking your time out of the night to come on the stream. It's really fun.
Wait, are we ending? Are we ending all together,
Probably.
Or-
I mean, it's like
or just
10.
the two of them?
I mean, up to you guys. I don't know how many people want.
I'm down for anything.
I don't know.
No, I mean I have work like later, but it's not due for like 12 hours, so I'm fine. And I never sleep, so.
I've been just
Never.
doing work on the side.
I've got to record 4,500 words
I
in the voice
do.
of Morgan Freeman, so I'm for the rest of the evening.
Oh, no.
Been a pleasure meeting you ladies. Until
Yeah, it
we
was
go
nice
Pleasure
talking
watch
to
the
you,
episodes
Ron.
again.
Very, very
That's so
excellent meeting
nice.
you.
Take care, Morgan.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Hope you have a
before,
good night,
before you
Letty.
guys,
Thank you.
before
You guys
anyone
as well.
leaves, make
Sup
sure
for
that you go
sup.
follow people. Make sure you guys go follow
subscribe.
everyone.
Thank you.
You can go follow.
Why are you
everybody
ignoring me? Respond.
in the chat? We have.
Notice me, senpai.
Yeah, we can just wrap it up. It's fine. I think it's 10 already for my time, especially. I think I'm gonna do some ASMR tonight too.
Okay.
So But yeah, we had a
So
4-hour.
I'm curious. I'm curious, Amouranth, have you ever had a boyfriend that was like, "Can you do ASMR?"
No.
I asked her to do that actually in the TwitchCon.
Yeah, I haven't had a boyfriend since I started doing ASMR. So
I think it would just be so much funnier if you were like, "I need you to go buy toilet paper."
I would love if I got requests like that. Are you kidding me?
Take out the trash.
Yeah. Wait, let me take notes. You're all talking too fast.
Do the laundry.
You need?
Watch the seat back down.
Actually wore me out before you went inside.
Good note.
I really hate your mom.
I need you to file my taxes.
She's looking for my phone. Imagine that whole conversation just happened with everybody whispering.
ASMR podcast next time.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You could actually, maybe you could make funny little redeemables, like the whole cast has to whisper for 2 minutes. Or the whole
for
cast
like
has
subgoals.
That'd be really fun.
That'd be fun.
British accent.
I'm thinking
Except
about
Kim
doing
has to use
celebrity.
an American one.
I can be American. Hi guys. Hi.
Oh man.
Really good.
Or I could be like, hi, I'm like from California and like I don't know what I'm doing, but like it's so crazy.
You're from the valley. because
Oh my
I'm
god, I'm
valley
like
girl.
offended.
Like that
God.
vocal fry.
What is she wearing?
What are you wearing? Oh my god.
Everybody is Raven.
Like, I don't know, guys. I
right
just have so much fun. Like, whenever I go outside, I just pet my pony and he's so soft.
See, I've been wanting to try celebrity ASMR for a while, just to see if anybody.
You
would
should-
think
You
you-
should
you
write
should try
Reynolds ASMR. Just
Do
swear
it.
like.
Totally do that.
Can you really hear a guy's voice like when you're whispering? Though I don't know if anybody would even notice.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah, because when you whisper, you can't hear the voice.
Some
anymore.
guys just do soft spoken. It's like they'll speak quietly.
My best idea came from Amouranth because when she was doing ASMR one night, she turned on the reverb echo thing, and I
Oh,
just
yeah.
had this mental picture of Jason from Friday the 13th
Oh my god.
with the reverb on going, "Cha." Just him with a severed head and a microphone.
Oh my god.
They make those microphones that look like heads too.
Yeah, those are freaky.
All right. My head hurts from laughing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks,
everybody.
Kate, for having me on the podcast. I really had
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks everyone for coming on. Chat, go follow them all. We'll spam the links in chat right now. Go follow everybody.
Inflatable baby on tube man.
Thank you.